888-866-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky Snowballs. From big kids to little kids, Sparky Snowballs has been making smiles happen for over 20 years. If you're not in the mood to chill out with a snowball, Sparky's funnel cakes and fried Oreos are a perfect Sparky-licious treat every time. Are you having an event, party, or fundraiser? Call Sparky's to come on site. Remember to follow Sparky's on Facebook or visit SparkySnowballs.com to see where they'll be next.
If you missed Pirate Radio Live, you missed.
Adopt a Tony to hang out with.
We can have a group.
So he doesn't get stuck in traffic.
It'll be like our post-tailgate at the Pirate Radio Tailgate Zone.
See, that's pretty, Pirate Nation's got your back.
I know, man. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it.
Or how about this? If you see Tony in the traffic line, politely pull your car over so Tony can speed through. Just hum it.
Pirate Radio Live, weekdays from 3 to 6, right here on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington.
Can you be quiet, please? Thank you.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. Welcome to Pirate Radio Live.
Sustained effort and violence.
There's local politics, bud.
I don't care about the weather. I can't control the weather. Don't want to talk about the weather.
Do we not agree?
Was that supposed to be funny?
Cool, neat story.
It can be a total goat rodeo.
Now live from the Pirate Radio studios in the heart of the Pirate Nation, here is your host, Clip Brock.
Hello and welcome in to a Monday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Clip Brock here with you inside the Pirate Radio studios. Thanks for tuning in today on Pirate Radio 92.7 FM in Greenville, 104.1 in Washington. We're on 1250, 930. You can find us online, pr927fm.com. And you can watch the show on Facebook Live and on YouTube. Coming up later this week, you can be a winner on Facebook and YouTube. We'll have a booty bag giveaway coming up, Facebook only, during the show on Wednesday. And we'll have a YouTube winner coming up later on this week as well. So stay tuned for that. We are locked and loaded here on a Monday. I already had a great edition of the Brian Bailey Show earlier today. If you missed it, you can watch it right now on YouTube, Pirate Radio TV. Subscribe so you get all of our new content as it drops. And also you can check it out on air today, 6 o'clock, as Brian Bailey went the entire hour one-on-one with John Gilbert. All right, we got a big show on tap for today coming up in about 30 minutes. We will talk to Brian Bailey, his Cowboys getting ready for some playoff football, taking on the 49ers this coming weekend. We'll talk about that and what's going on with ECU athletics. At 4 o'clock, we'll talk some ECU club hockey. I'll let you know what's going on and when you can watch them in action here in Greenville, North Carolina. If you want to get some live hockey action going and root on the Pirates, we'll have all the details coming up at 4 o'clock. At 4:30, we've talked to professional wrestlers in the past. Cesaro, we've had Summer Rae join us on the show, and many, many others. Dana Brooke, most recently from WWE. This will be our first AEW wrestler we've had on Pirate Radio. It'll be Brock Anderson. He's an ECU alum. He is the son of the legendary Arn Anderson, and we'll talk about the AEW. I was going to say coming to North Carolina, but I believe they were in North Carolina last week, and they'll be in Raleigh coming up this Wednesday night. Big show. I know the big dog, Glenn Griffin and CJ Schaefer, are heading to Raleigh on Wednesday to see AEW Dynamite coming up live on TNT. We'll talk to Brock Anderson about coming to East Carolina, his career as a wrestler, being Arn Anderson's son, and all that coming up at 4:30. Excited to talk to him. Troy D will be in at 5 o'clock on today's program. We got Shirley Rhodes. We got CJ Schaefer wearing the TJ Watt jersey as the Steelers are heading to the playoffs, and Chandler Honeycutt also in Studio B. And Ellerbe joins me right here at the big table. Hello, Jonathan.
What's up, Clip? Used to watch Brock's dad, Arn Anderson, on Saturday Morning Wrestling, one of the Four Horsemen. Just a legendary part of my weekends back in the day. And I assume the AEW is not at the Dorton Arena coming up on Wednesday.
Nah, they're going to be PNC.
Yeah, so but that's where Arn probably used to throw some haymakers back in the day. But certainly, I look forward to that interview, and pretty cool. The guy's East Carolina Pirate as well, so I look forward to hearing the latest on Brock Anderson and about his his story. I don't know much about him other than he's coming up on the show in a little bit.
So you watched some wrestling at Dorton Arena. You probably did this too, but I watched some live hockey there.
Yes,
with the Ice Caps.
I was
back in the day.
I was a Raleigh Ice Caps fanatic. I used to go there early so I could get the seats that were just the metal chairs behind the goal. They were standing room only, so you could, which was kind of insane if you think about it. So you could catch a puck. So that's where the pucks would get shot up. But Lyle Wild Goose and the Raleigh Ice Caps. They used to. I went to opening night there and they played Greensboro, and it was the biggest fight I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, they threw down, but I was in high school right during the Ice Caps heyday, and I even went to a Bullfrogs game when they had a professional basketball team called the Raleigh Bullfrogs.
No way.
Yes.
So this is the first I'm hearing of this.
I want to say, I'm not positive, but I do want to say at some point Chris Corciani was on the Raleigh Bullfrogs. I'm not sure what league it was in.
They were around for one season,
yes.
Ellerbe, 91-92. Mm-hmm. They played at Dorton. Let's see. They were 28-35. Lorenzo Charles, Chuck Nevitt, Mike Morrison, and Chris Corciani had stints on the Bullfrogs.
Yes.
What a great name for a team, too. I need a hat.
The Raleigh Bullfrogs in Dorton Arena. Also remember the Raleigh Skyhawks. Whatever professional World League, yes. So they were one and done.
I remember watching them. I want to say on like USA Network back in the day.
Mm-hmm. So it's just some interesting good in the early '90s when I was in high school. There was a lot of cool minor league. I went to opening night at Five County Stadium when the Mudcats opened.
First became a thing?
Yeah, their first ever game at Five County Stadium. It was hot as all get out that night, and there was no breeze, and that was before, the stadium's improved a lot over the years, and it's super nice now, but it was really kind of like a metal bleacher structure, and it was no breeze, and it was in the middle of a field, and it was hot.
All right.
Lots of good stuff. Sorry.
Great Ellerbe stories, and sure, if Troy's listening, he's going to be ready to top that coming up at 5 o'clock about his childhood. So stay tuned for that.
Absolutely. I think he's busy applying to be the GM of the Bears right now.
I think he's too young. Everybody involved in the Bears search and everything is over 75 years of age. They are going old school over there. But we'll talk about Black Monday with all the coach firings, a little bit with Bailey, and later with Troy D as the Bears are looking for a new coach and GM for their football operation. All right, so we got some great guests today. Let me real quick talk about what's coming up later on this week. We'll talk to the rusher previous to Keaton Mitchell running for 1,000 yards for ECU. We have to update that stat because Keaton Mitchell had a 1,000-yard season this past year, but Ventavious Cooper did it back in 2013. We'll talk to him coming up on the show on Tuesday. Planning to hook up with Tyler Snead, talk about his decision to make himself eligible for the NFL draft. We got him coming up later this week. Also, Connor Norby, former Pirate great, now in the Orioles organization, going to join us on the Pirate Radio Live line later on this week to talk about his brief pro career that he's been involved in right now, and also the banquet coming up, as he will be speaking at that, the ECU baseball banquet. And Warren Saba, who we watched a lot here play football at East Carolina, is preparing for the Hula Bowl along with DJ Ford. That is a game down in Florida, I believe, coming up this weekend. But we'll talk to Warren Saba on the show about his long career at ECU, finally getting the Pirates to bowl eligibility and a winning season. And we'll talk to Warren, one of the team leaders, coming up on Friday's show. Yeah, it'd be interesting talking to those guys. You guys got back to bowl eligibility. Didn't ever got to play the bowl game, which will be something they'll always look back. Gets to go to the Hula Bowl. Yeah, so will the Hula Bowl be played, and will the Hula Bowl be played in Florida, not in Hawaii? Although it sounds like I saw DJ Ford tweet that he was in the Hula Bowl, and then I was like, oh man, he's getting a little trip to Hawaii out of this, and it was like, oh,
Orlando.
So is it supposed to be in Florida? I don't know anything about the Hula Bowl.
I mean, the Hula Bowl, it doesn't. I don't know the history of it, but it sounds like it's a one of those postseason games that
it's a college football all-star game, January 15th, Orlando, Florida.
Right. It sounded like one of those deals that maybe originally started in Hawaii and then maybe cost and other stuff.
Kind of like the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl is now in Vegas.
Yeah, which is great, I think. If you want to get players to show up, put it in Vegas.
Yeah.
Not a bad place to go.
It'll be interesting how that all pans out, too. And how many, when we talk about bowl season, 40 bowls in 14 days of really they're all exhibition games. I mean, is there a bigger exhibition bowl game than the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, I hate it.
How many people will opt out of that because of COVID and all the other things?
Well, I hate it as a fan. Like, me, Ellerbe. More games, the better.
Yes.
But you just can't do an exhibition football game.
That's not what you said last week about the football team's 17th game. You were done with them. You didn't want more football team.
Correct.
Luckily,
there were millions of other games to watch this weekend.
Right.
So I avoided that one and watched some other football. But, the Pro Bowl, they got to figure out something else to do. I don't know. You just can't have guys out there killing each other. And they're not. They're going half speed, and sometimes that can cause even more injuries.
It's funny we talk about this every year, and everybody talks about it every year, but no one has come up with any solutions to change the format.
Well, you can't change the format of a football game.
I mean, you could just do contests and stuff.
Yeah, but I probably wouldn't watch that either.
I mean, it's kind of like I enjoy. I mean, obviously the whole thing of baseball is a completely different thing, but like the home run derby, if you could come up with some sort of contest and maybe like linebackers have a linebacker field goal kicking contest. Might be kind of interesting. I don't know.
How about just a straight up race? Would you be interested in seeing the fastest guys race one another?
Do you remember? Did you ever see the show when you were growing up? You might have been too young when like the stars of each network, the network battle of the network stars.
Yeah.
But I mean, what if you did something like that, like obstacle courses and some punt, pass, and kick? I
had I saw a tweet the other day. It was a slam dunk contest with Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds, Deion Sanders. And this wasn't really fair. They had like the long jump champion, who is Mike Conley Sr., father of Mike Conley, who's had a long NBA career. But he looked like an actual basketball player and was out there doing all these dunks and ended up winning the event. But that was pretty neat. Maybe, how about a slam dunk contest for NFL players?
I like that, but what about also...
And a home run derby for NFL players.
Yeah, what about, while we're throwing it out there, holy moly, Steph Curry's golf show? Have you seen that, the putt-putt show?
I know you're a big fan of that.
I know,
Rob Riggle.
It incorporates obstacle course and golf.
Well, we just figured it out. Have these football players playing basically every other sport,
right,
and make that the Pro Bowl festivity.
Yeah, I think a holy moly with all these athletes trying to do those shows. I'm all in. I think that would be a ratings hit.
Ellerbe is Mr.
Love Ideas.
Mr. Not only idea but solution. Mr. Solution.
Anybody can point out the problems. It's the people that can point to the solutions that are going to get further in life.
There you go. That is a Ellerbe quote. That's your quote, right?
I love it.
You didn't get that from anybody.
Everything's borrowed.
All right, man, we got to talk about Pirate Hoops. What did you want to say?
Oh yeah, I was going to.
I'm going to get to that eventually.
Before football, the 40th bowl in 14 days is tonight.
Yeah.
Does that really count? But we can talk about Pirate Hoops. Went on the upswing last week, and then just a heartbreaker. I mean, it's like we're getting better, getting closer, but it's just, you hate when that happens, but it happens. And now,
I'm watching that game thinking they're going to lose, right?
I think
when you're watching it,
you hate to have such a negative thought go in your brain when you're watching ECU basketball, but it is so. I mean, that dark cloud just forms over you whenever you're watching East Carolina basketball, and you're like, all right, what's going to happen here? No lead is ever big enough in an ECU basketball game. I mean, I don't care. I mean, there was one game, I don't even remember who they were playing earlier this year, and they won handily, but they were still up by like 20 or got up by like 30 at one point, and then it got cut down to like 18. And I was like, and you're like, oh my God. I mean, you're up 18 points in a basketball game and you're nervous. But
let's make it as heartbreaking as we can. We're gonna lose on a last second shot, and you know what? Let's have that guy be from Kinston. And he plays at Temple up in Philadelphia, just to really rub salt in the wound. But I mean, razor thin line in the American. We've seen it in the first two games. Pirates are on the right side of it. Wednesday night at home when Tristan Newton just went out of his mind, and was able to hit a clutch 3, send it to overtime, win in OT. And then the reverse happened as Damian Dunn was not going to let his team lose on Saturday. He had 33 points. He was 3 of 6 from deep, and he hit the dagger at the end of the game. There was one play drawn up. It was you get the ball, you run down the clock, and you take a shot at the end. If you miss it, we'll go to OT and figure it out then. And kind of everybody knew it was going to happen, and credit to him, he hit the shot.
Yep. And the Pirates got to bounce back this week with Cincinnati and Memphis.
Yeah, and
at Cincinnati on Wednesday, and then Memphis on Saturday.
Cincinnati, I said it right after the game. We did a Twitter Spaces. I mean, it wouldn't shock me to see East Carolina play them well and once again go down to the wire. Cincinnati lost to Tulane at home and really got manhandled by Tulane at home. And then the very next game, they bounced back and beat SMU by 20 at home. So
I wish these games were flipped, that the Pirates had Cincinnati at home on Wednesday and maybe we're on the road Saturday at Memphis to it's just, Pirate basketball on the road is just not a place where victories are ever really gathered.
No. I wish every game was at home.
And you were doing the PA?
Why can't we?
Morgan couldn't do it?
I don't know. I kind of like my spot in 213. Why can't we get every game at home? Is this a John Gilbert scheduling issue?
That is a good question. I mean, why is there a bias in our conference against us not having all home games?
What's the deal with that?
I mean, I'd be willing to play, a few more road non-conference games if we could get all the.
And
I'm a big proponent of, if they want to save money, if they want to get back to common sense, I think we've talked about this before. Why don't we play like this weekend? Play 2 with Memphis here in Greenville. And never have to go to Memphis this year, and then we'd play 2 at Cincinnati.
Mr. Solutions guy.
You play Memphis Friday night, and then turn around and play them against Sunday, and you get 2 games against Memphis, and then they're just here for the weekend, then they fly back out, and you could do that.
It's kind of like the volleyball schedule, but they do like they'll go on the road and they'll play South Florida on Friday, and then Central Florida on Sunday, and then come home. And that's all their games that week.
Right.
So if you went to that schedule, your basketball schedule would be Friday, Sunday, basically all year, or Thursday, Saturday.
And you tag team the women and the men together, and you build up basketball weekends around the country. Get your season tickets. Who's coming to your city? So it's kind of like game day, But now, granted, you wouldn't get every other year. You would get the teams. But you like home basketball games? Would you love a Friday night, Sunday afternoon college basketball weekend in Greenville?
You beat them on Friday. You show up Sunday. All right, we got to get the sweep. You lose on Friday. You're like, all right, we got to get the split today. Let's go. Be kind of fun.
I like it. I mean, it's you don't ever see basketball get to play back-to-back games like that. I mean, baseball, you'll watch a series, 3 games in a row. But I think it would be cool, and the fact that you would save a ton of money, you would cut down on the number of road trips, and you could charter, leave on Thursday night, be there on Friday, play some hoops. Women either play before or after, whichever the home team wants to do it. So I'm all for it.
All right. Well, the Hornets and Bucks are trying this out to see how it works. Hornets beat the Bucks on Saturday night in Charlotte. The Hornets will play the Bucks tonight in Charlotte.
Oh, really?
That's the second time that's happened this year for the Hornets.
They stuck around and I guess went to the NASCAR Hall of Fame and Carowinds and
went and bought some Carolina Panther merchandise that
the Bucks did?
Yeah.
I guess. What else are you going to do? They went to Dale Jr.'s bar. What else is there to do in Charlotte?
In Charlotte?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's a lot.
What was the Greek Freak doing these last couple of days, hanging out in Charlotte?
Probably in the penthouse of the Ritz in downtown Charlotte and doing whatever he wants.
Yeah.
But,
But they're trying your little scheduling idea there.
I like it. I mean, the NBA is trying to save money. Why wouldn't college athletics try to save money?
There you go. All right, good stuff. So basketball on the road Wednesday. Let's get a nice crowd Saturday at Minji's. That should be a fun one coming up against Memphis.
Memphis is the real deal. I think. I mean, they're locked and loaded. Are they?
They're loaded, but they hadn't put it together.
It's the return of Larry Brown to Greenville.
Larry Brown will be here. Rasheed Wallace will be here. Their whole traveling circus will be here.
Penny Hardy. Your confidence level of the Cincinnati and Memphis games?
I'm almost more confident that they can beat Cincinnati on the road than I am Memphis at home. Memphis right now 9-5 overall, 3-1 in conference play, but they beat Alabama at home. They've lost to Tulane. They are. It seems like if their guys are locked in from tip off, they can win any game. If not, they're going to have a lot of turnovers. They're going to have an offensive funk for a few minutes, like we're used to with East Carolina. But Cincinnati, year one, Wes Miller, they're 11-5 overall, 1-2 in conference play. So I think East Carolina can split these next two.
Split,
and I would be happy with that if they were able to do
you're
that.
calling a split this week. Or you just
yes,
feel confident? You're calling it.
Yes.
Clip Rock with a split.
Calling a split.
If not, you'll do a split on this show.
That is more difficult than East Carolina winning on the road.
It is.
More impossible.
Clip Brock doing a split is how much more difficult than the Pirates winning a road American basketball game.
Yeah, way more difficult.
Way more, impossible difficult.
I can't do a split. Can you do a split?
No, I never really thought about it, but no.
Well, think about it right now.
I don't think so.
All right, so now you don't think you can. Do you think I can? Can anybody here do a split? No.
Shirley, splits?
I could do one, but I would require an ambulance to get back up.
Now, what is a split?
It's where your legs are. One goes.
So you got one. I mean, I could.
One's going north. One's going south.
I could get in the and you have to have the whole leg back. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is impossible. No.
Let's start with this. Could you take a knee?
I can successfully do that.
If we get you on a knee, can you get the other leg on the ground flat from there?
The front one?
Yeah.
Maybe. Probably. I mean, but the back leg. I mean,
do it.
There's no chance
You
of
can't do
the other leg.
All right. So ECU with a split, Clip Rock, no split.
All right. There you go.
All right.
Where do you stand on banana splits?
Banana splits. Hadn't had one in
been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. You know, they don't really get marketed or advertised like they used to when we were kids growing up.
That was like an old treat.
Yeah, it's more of like the milkshake and the blended, like
smoothies.
Yeah, smoothies. It's not, the banana split is a lost art.
It is.
People hating on the bananas. I love a banana now.
Big banana guy. What's your fruit power rankings, Ellerbe?
My fruit power rankings. I have a smoothie every morning, so that's and I love putting a banana in my smoothie. But
do you make your own?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Blend it up.
Magic Bullet.
You just throw fruit in there and stuff?
I usually, I put frozen fruit and then like a banana, and I use it in my Magic Bullet. If I am running short on time, I always hit my friends at Fresh Vibes for one of their delicious smoothies, which are good too. But so I like that. I'm a big fan of a green apple too.
Okay, like a little sourness.
Yeah,
your apple.
Granny Smith apple.
Smith.
Yeah, I'm a big Granny Smith apple person.
What did you call it? A magic what now?
Magic Bullet.
What's a magic?
Is that a blender? I'm assuming.
Have you never seen the infomercial?
It's a small blender.
Yeah, it gives you individual cups, and then it's about this big around, and you just put it on there, and
it does the trick.
It's a 1-cup blender. Yeah,
nice.
We have turned into an infomercial.
Yes.
Now Ellerbe's going to do a presentation on it.
Yes.
All right. Oh, sorry. So your fruit power rankings: banana 1, or Granny Smith.
Yeah, I think I'm go-to is probably a Granny Smith apple, just all year round because they're available year round. There's some fruits aren't available. I'm a huge
kind of like jelly beans. They're only available.
No, Granny Smiths are available year round.
Okay.
Watermelons are not.
I guess good watermelon.
Can you go to the grocery store and find a watermelon right now?
No, you can't.
I literally bought watermelon last night at
Come on.
Food Line.
Where?
Not a full whole watermelon,
Oh.
but like sliced up watermelon.
Yeah,
really?
you can buy sliced up watermelon, and some places have the
think it's
smaller
like jelly beans,
watermelons.
though. They don't display it like they
hide them from you.
Exactly.
They were not hidden. They were right there on the shelf, and I picked them up. And Lily's.
It's already diced watermelon.
Yeah, but they had some.
Yes.
They have some that's like half or like.
At Food Line.
And
But like
some
during
of
the
them-
summertime, you'll go to the grocery store
Yeah.
and it's like sitting there.
There's
the
a
whole
big
watermelon.
box. Yeah.
Yeah, they
just load
also
up.
have the smaller watermelons, not your normal size watermelon, but they have those small round ones. I think they're
Watermelon
called
would
the
be in my top
seedless
5.
ones.
Yeah.
But yes.
Big pomegranate fan, Ellerbe.
Really?
Yeah.
Pomegranate.
I know.
Can't say that.
They're messy and it's a lot of work, but I really like those for some reason. All right, so there you go.
There's your fruit update.
Fruit update of the day.
You like Fruit of Looms?
Underwears?
I hope you're wearing some.
I don't have a problem with them.
Yeah. Just
I'm more of a Hanes guy.
You're a Hanes person? All right.
Blair says, call Jess at Purple Blossom Yoga for all your split needs.
There we go. Troy D did some hot yoga there this weekend.
Do you? I bet Troy would say he could do a split. Or he'll say...
It's 2 little butt cheeks.
He'll say, if I could practice, I could do one.
Oh, yeah.
That's his line.
Yeah, he just needs to dedicate more time to doing whatever, and he can...
And he can do it.
He can do it.
Unlike any other human on Earth. If he decided...
All he needs is practice.
Yeah, then he can do it.
That's the only thing keeping him from the PGA Tour.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of things that are holding Troy D back is time.
More on that.
And commitment.
We're talking about practice.
More on that at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
All right. Who you got tonight?
Bama.
Wow. Have you thought about it, or was it that quick?
It's just
came over.
This is the first thing.
Always.
I know you're not a betting guy, Jonathan, but total is 52. You going over or under?
I'll go over. If you're taking Bama, you got to take the over.
All right. Ellerbe has spoketh.
That's just my theory, and that is just my 100% gut. Just gut.
You haven't really
in my mouth.
The teams.
I haven't broken it down. Yeah. I did watch the first game. I'm hoping I can stay up late enough that it'll be a good enough game to watch. But Alabama has the best player in college football. And
who's that? The quarterback?
Bryce Young. And then they got the best coach in college football. And
Bill O'Brien.
Nick Saban. And I don't know. I mean, this year was the first time that one of his assistants has beaten him. And that's kind of done. Jimbo Fisher beat Nick Saban. So, I think he might have Kirby Smart spooked.
Yeah, could be. Georgia is a 2.5 point favorite, depending on where you look.
Which I think plays into Alabama's favor big time.
Anytime they're a dog.
What was the stat to consider that you mentioned earlier? It's like 4-0. The loser is 4-0.
In the national championship game, I don't know what era. I get maybe the college football playoff era. The team that lost previously that had a rematch in the championship is 4-0, which would say pick Georgia. But you can find a stat,
right,
to
consider
for anything you like. So.
Right.
All right, Ellerbe, enjoyed it.
Yes.
That went by fast.
It did, man. We covered a lot.
We didn't cover anything all at the same time.
Right.
It was a great show.
Rewind.
Great job.
Re-listen.
All right. Well, see you next Monday. There is Ellerbe hanging out, hour 1, segment 1 of Pirate Radio Live. When we return, we'll visit with Double B, Brian Bailey. We'll get his pick tonight. I'll keep up with these. Ellerbe first up has Alabama. We'll see who Bailey's got. Who do you got? Will you be watching? Will you be protesting? Do you care about the game tonight? Let us know on Facebook Live, Twitter, YouTube. And we'll have more for you on Pirate Radio Live. We're back after this.
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Ottavola Market Cafe. Ottavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Ottavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Ottavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Ottavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Ottavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OttavolaMarket.com. Ottavola, pirates supporting pirates.
UBE and PirateWear.com is excited to offer Pirate Nation the largest selection of new ECU merchandise and tailgate supplies ever. UBE has the best prices in town, so that makes UBE your one-stop shop for all things ECU. UBE does daily restocks of Champion, Adidas, and Under Armour. Don't forget to bring your young pirates in to plunder the Crow's Nest, which is the only kids store dedicated to ECU. Plenty of free parking uptown in Greenville. Visit them at PirateWear.com. Go Pirates!
Woo! Papa John's just took their fresh, never frozen dough and hand stretched it New York style. So you can fold it or not. Hang on, I know, I fold it. Get a New York style pizza from Papa John's.
Hey, Pirate fans, the new Papa John's New York style pizza is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
For years, Callie Ann Phelps has been singing about Phelps Chevrolet.
Phelps Chevrolet is the one for you. Low, low prices, service too. See the big dealer right away. Carolina's finest, Phelps Chevrolet.
And you'll agree with what Skylar Phelps has to say.
Nobody beats Phelps Chevrolet's prices. Nobody.
The name you can depend on. Phelps Chevrolet.
Get you one.
University PC Care has been the Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. Unfortunately, many organizations today simply react to IT issues after the damage is done. This is known as the break-fix cycle in the tech service industry. University PC Care's Business Services Division has a better way, a proactive solution called BizCare. What's at your office? Call William at University PC Care today to schedule your free BizCare consultation or learn more at universitypccare.com.
Grow Rug 26 is coming to Greenville March 25th through the 27th. This is DJ Fossil from F3 ENC, inviting all men to sign up now for this leadership training event. The Grow Rug training events are designed to help men become high-impact men by reinforcing the F3 mission of invigoration of male community leadership. To register or to learn more, please visit f3enc.com. That's f3enc.com. Remember, you don't have to be great to get started, but you've got to get started if you want to be great.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
This is CJ Johnson, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Do you need custom t-shirts, apparel, or promotional items for your business, organization, or event? Keep it local. Print it local with University Sportswear. Contact them today at universitysportswearenc.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. University PC Care has been Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. They are the local tech support experts for any of your business needs. Let University PC Care take care of it so you can take care of business. Visit universitypccare.com to learn more today. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip Brock.
Alrighty, back with you here on this Monday. Nice sunny day. Bit chilly outside, but feeling good here in my Braves World Champion hoodie.
I was going to say nice hoodie.
Nice hoodie. The Atlanta Braves are world champions. Who will be the NFL champions? You don't hoist the Lombardi Trophy in January, but you do in February. And Brian Bailey's team is in the dance. The Dallas Cowboys, the NFC East champions for 2021. Bailey, how you doing, sir?
Not too bad. How are you?
Doing good. Cowboys, Niners. What do you think about the matchup?
Well, you know, it's just one of those deals where you've had a good season, 12-5, but, you know, great seasons are made in the playoffs. So they've got work to do. They got to go out there and play, you know, survive in advance. No matter how you do it, you just got to do it. They got to play well. If they play well, they win. If they don't play well, they won't win, and then there'll be all kinds of question marks and everything else going into 2022. So.
What's a good season, Brian? Is it getting to round 2? Is it getting to the NFC Championship? Is it getting to the Super Bowl or winning the Super Bowl? At what point will you say, I'm happy with this season? Well, you know, what's your ceiling?
Well, I would say this year it would probably be to get to the championship game and to see how they would play against Green Bay if Green Bay gets there too. I think that would be what I would measure it on. If you go to Green Bay and lose a close game, which the Cowboys have done before, I mean, it's tough to win up there. But there's no guarantee that Green Bay is going to be there. No guaranteed Dallas is going to be there. I'm realistic about that. You just look at what happened yesterday in the NFL and how crazy things were. What in the heck were the Colts doing yesterday? I mean, all they have to do is go to the worst team in the league and win, and they're in the playoffs. And and then if I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I'm up late night last night thinking, this can't be happening. This can't be happening.
I remember, Bailey, you said a line, I think it was your first wife that asked you, hadn't you already, you watched the game or something, and she said, you've been watching games all day. You're going to watch another game? And you said, well, I hadn't watched this game. Like, every game is different. We've watched a million of them, and every situation, every week, it's something new. And I just don't remember the drama of last night where you've got two teams that they were better off tying than one team winning the game because they could both guarantee they go to the playoffs. And you got this other team, this other fan base watching the game, screaming at somebody to score. It was just the ultimate theater, the ultimate drama. It was awesome.
Yeah, the actual line was, we haven't seen these two teams play.
There you go.
Which really got me in some trouble. But anyway.
It's a great line. It's true.
Exactly. It is true. And the Chargers, I mean, going forward on 4th and 1 from their own 19 or whatever they did that one time, they got themselves to blame for that stupid play. But and a lot of people were talking about if they hadn't called timeout with about a minute to play, the Raiders might have just gone ahead and let the clock run out, and they tie and they go about their business.
Yeah, I think that's a bit overblown because there was 4 seconds on the play clock. And there was a still shot of Zay Jones with nobody covering him. So at that point, they wanted to make sure they were at least covering guys on defense. The Raiders would have ran the ball. The problem is that third down play. Well, if you stop them at the line, what do the Raiders do? Well, they break the line and are able to get in a very makeable field goal. So I don't know I think the timeout's being overblown personally.
Well, and I agree with you there. I don't know if they would have tried a field goal from much further out. I mean, I don't think you try a 57-yard field goal.
Yeah, well, if they ran a play and that defense is all confused, they might have busted it for a touchdown. I mean, they weren't going to take a knee if they didn't call a timeout.
Right. But I'm just saying, if the decision comes up and it's a 57-yard field goal attempt or take a knee and tie, then they tie. I think the NFL was really worried about that because it's the worst thing. I mean, you just don't want that to happen. And I hate to say it like this, but especially like a franchise like Pittsburgh. I mean, one of the premier franchises in the league, and they're going to get screwed up because these two teams tie.
And you've got, I didn't even really think about this, but like Al Davis, rest in peace, but Mark Davis, and they don't really get along great with the NFL, right? So they could have really put the screw job on last night if they wanted to.
And Al Davis just win, baby. Well,
true, yeah.
Hi, baby.
Yeah. It was awesome because you had two fan bases in that building. They did show a disgruntled Steelers fan there in overtime saying, somebody do something. The biggest fan base watching that game wanting a team to win was not in that building or part of the Raiders or Chargers. It was awesome.
Yeah, and what happens if the Chargers block the field goal and run it back for a touchdown?
Yeah, kick six. I mean, anything could happen there.
They're still in, but and the odds of that are long, obviously. But hey, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great drama. I was filling in for Garrett this weekend, so we had the final score. We went on way late because NFL football ran late. So I realized at midnight nobody's really watching the local newscast, but I was on at like 12:05. I had the big weather wall screen with the game on there, so I could see exactly what was going on while I was on the air. And during a interview or soundbite or anything, I could look over and figure it out. And it was just great drama. It was a lot of fun last night.
All right, Super Wild Card Weekend on tap. We'll have the games for you coming up right here on Pirate Radio. Gets underway with this is a fun one because this is two teams that just have not been great of recent years, and you got the Raiders. With Zay Jones there. By the way, I feel good. I'm happy for for Derek Carr. Seems like one of the good guys. So happy for him. And then you got the Bengals, man. Those fans are going to be jacked up in Cincinnati to get a home game. Last time they won a playoff game, Bailey, it was Boomer Esiason, Ickey Woods. You got to go way back last time they won a playoff game.
The Ickey Shuffle.
Yeah. Brian Bailey had a dark mustache the last time. I saw somebody say that nobody in human history has sent a text message about the Bengals winning a playoff game because that was not a thing back then. So,
what year was that with Boomer? And
I think it was 91 last time they won a playoff game. Oh, they beat a team that doesn't exist, the Houston Oilers, in that game. So,
Oilers.
That's the 4:30 game. That should be a fun one. Patriots, Bills. The Bills have knocked the Patriots off the perch as the top team in the AFC East. They'll have to go out and prove it. They split during the regular season, and they'll play 8:15 on CBS, so another late news night next weekend for Channel 9. You've got on Sunday, Eagles at Bucks at 1, Niners at Cowboys. Romo will be on the call for that one on CBS at 4:30 on Sunday, and in the nightcap, Steelers Chiefs. And then for the first time, we'll have a Monday night wild card game. I believe the Manning cast will be back for that one. Cardinals Rams coming up Monday night. So fun weekend on tap, Bailey, with the NFL playoffs.
What did you think of some of the lines for the games? I thought the Steelers and Chiefs was crazy.
The Steelers, man, they're just so blah. I don't know.
Setting things up so well. I just thought maybe they would, muddy it up and see if they could hang around. I don't know. 15's a lot of points in a playoff game.
CJ is a true fan. He's a lot like myself. CJ Schaefer is in Studio B wearing his TJ Watt jersey. I heard him say before the show, this will be the last time I'll be able to wear this jersey with pride because we're going to get blown out. I just said the Steelers are and he's over there making faces like, what are you talking about? It's a great example of I can say something about my team, but you can't. And that's the sign of a true fan right there.
Yeah, that's right.
Although Bailey always talks glorious about his Cowboys.
I try to be realistic.
Realistic, Bailey.
Talent.
The lines, like, I don't know. I don't like the Eagles, but the Bucs. I don't know. I don't have a game. I don't have a favorite pick yet, I guess, out of these games so far. But the Chiefs, I could see them blowing out the Steelers. I don't know.
I could certainly see it too. But Kansas City's had so many games this year where they just kind of muddy around themselves.
I tell you, I don't like the Bengals being favored by that much. I'd probably go both underdogs on Saturday, and I'm going to get sucked into some old Belichick magic here, but I'd probably go Raiders plus the points and Patriots plus the points on Saturday.
The Raiders, 6.
I'm seeing like 6. Yeah, I think that's too much. Do you trust the Bengals in the playoffs?
Playoffs?
Playoffs? I don't know. Anyway, that's what makes it fun. All right, well, there's that coming up this weekend. I'm going to be missing some of that game because I'll be in Minges Coliseum, Bailey, watching the Pirates take on the Memphis Tigers. And how about their trip up to Philly? Tell me about Damian Dunn. Did he play for Kinston High School? I keep hearing Kinston. What was his story in high school, Bailey?
Yeah, in his senior year, he transferred somewhere, I think it was in Georgia, to a school. But I remember him coming around, and I knew he was at Temple because every time Pirates played Temple the last couple of years, we talk about it. But he was a good player at Kinston.
Yeah, and he was a good player on Saturday.
He was.
33, he would not let his team lose. He was awesome on Saturday. And, man, these margins have been razor thin. We saw it quite a bit during the non-conference schedule. How about 2 games going down to the wire to start AAC play? Pirates are on the right side of one of them and the wrong side of the other.
And they've got a tough schedule coming up, and that's the worst part about the American, man, because there are some games that, it just seems like every team is difficult for the Pirates to beat. But some of the teams, Memphis has those top 5 recruiting classes, and Cincinnati, they had a good game yesterday. Memphis won 87-80. I mean, those are 2 tough teams this week.
And I hope we're one of those teams that can battle and be in ball games. Like we have the first 2. Can we be one of those teams like these teams that every night in, night out, you don't want to play them? I think Joe Dooley's got a group of guys that could be one of those teams this year.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think he's getting a lot out of those guys. I think we're seeing it right in front of our eyes that when you keep a kid in your program, 3 or 4 years, and we're seeing Tristan Newton in his third year, and if he wants to keep playing, he can play a lot longer. J.J. Miles. I mean, these guys are getting, they're a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, a little bit more experienced, and they, Tremont had 2 huge plays in the Temple game down the stretch. I mean, those are the kind of plays that experienced players make, and that's what you got to have, and it just takes time.
Yeah, and Pirates will be back at it Wednesday against Cincinnati back home. Need a big crowd Saturday, 4 o'clock in Minges when they take on Memphis. Bailey, over the weekend, so it was, I believe, Friday, we heard the Tyler Snead news. He was going to declare for the NFL draft. And then on Saturday, Jaquan McMillan, the talented cornerback, says he will do the same. So that's 2 huge losses that Mike Houston's going to have to deal with heading in to this next football season.
Yeah, and I think in talking to some folks, that Tyler had told some of the guys that he thought he was going to do that. I think it's a direct look at what Blake Pro was able to do and how he was able to do what, and he just got signed, and obviously he got hurt and didn't get a chance to do anything this season, but the Vikings have signed him and hope that, he's got a chance to make the roster coming up this summer. But, you hope he's doing the right thing, because if you love the sport of football like he apparently does, and things don't work out, I mean, I guess there's other avenues now with USFL coming back and some other things, but it's a tough sport. It's tough to make it up there in that league, but I'd love to see him. He's been a fun player to watch, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I just don't think he could raise his stock anymore. He's not going to get any taller. I mean, the production has just been so good and consistent throughout his career. If he comes back and catches 80 balls, does his stock raise? I don't think it raises that much. I think for him, the time is to go. And Jaquan McMillan had a great year, and maybe he feels the same, being on an All-American list and things like that, that now's the time for him to go. So I wish them both the best.
Well, and I think in Jaquan's case, intercepting footballs is a talent, but it's also, there's some luck involved and people throwing your way and that kind of thing. And like you said, you could go through a whole season. He could have could have had a much better season next year and not had the picks.
Yeah.
It's the interceptions that put him on the All-American list.
Right.
I think that, you're probably right there. I don't think, that Tyler could have improved his stock any, but I don't think, his stock, I don't think it would have gone down any if he played another year.
No, I agree. He's just a year older and, got more bruises and bumps. So, I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to. If I was him, I'd want to be in college forever, but not everybody is peaks early like I do in life, Bailey.
He can't drink as much beer as you can every year in college. So.
That's probably true. Well, because I'm bigger than him. He's a little fella.
That's true.
All right, so there's that with ECU football. I guess what's next, Bailey? Winter workouts, and I don't know. I guess we'll be talking spring football here in a few months.
Yeah, I think they go through 6 weeks of winter workouts, and those are very hard, very difficult with Big John, and then they go into spring football, and I miss it, man. I tell you, a lot of people have come up to me since the bowl game, and they said, "Man, it's too bad you missed Christmas," and I did miss it. I like being around the family and all that, but it was a lot of fun up there covering a bowl game. I mean, I hadn't covered a bowl game in so many years, and then to get a chance to go to practice each practice and shoot a little bit of video and then kind of just kick back and watch how practice was going. And it was really just it was a good trip for a lot of reasons until the bowl was canceled. But I'm looking forward to football getting back. I think I like watching Coach Houston. I like watching the assistant coaches. Steve Shank, I like to watch him coach all day. Man, he's hilarious with those linemen. So it was a lot of fun.
Bailey, Alabama, Georgia tonight. We'll wrap it up here. Who you got tonight?
Well, it's one of those deals. If you put a gun to my head and say, "Hey, if you get it wrong, you're dead," I'm taking Alabama.
Right.
I mean, I'm just doing it. But I think Georgia's just as good, and I think Georgia just ran into a buzzsaw. And I'm a firm believer it's hard to beat a team twice in the same year, hard to beat a team twice in the same month. But I'm going to go with Georgia, even though I know I'm probably just talking out of my head, and Alabama's going to kill them.
I kind of feel the same way. If your life is on the line here, you go with Nick Saban. But knowing that you will survive this game, no matter who you pick. Yeah. Georgia steamrolled everybody this year except for that one Saturday in Atlanta. And that was Alabama beating them down. and they get them again. I'm still on the fence. I'm leaning Alabama, but maybe I can be swayed in the next 2 hours and 13 minutes. So
Georgia just had one of those days where they picked a bad day to have a bad day.
yeah, we'll run some of the audio from Brian Bailey and John Gilbert. Great conversation, and you asked some great questions, Bailey. You had a little help from the listening and viewing audience too. Had a lot of Facebook questions today.
Yeah, that was good, and that's always fun. I had a chance last year to do the coaches shows for radio, and people sending stuff in. It's kind of to get their ideas on the air as well. But it was John did a great job answering everything, and it's always interesting to pick somebody like that, their brain, and then during the commercial breaks try to get something more out of them. And I enjoyed it a lot. John's a good guy.
That's good stuff. Talking to Double B, Brian Bailey. Here is your factoid of the day, Bailey. This is the first time ever, good grief, I think you go top 6, that the top 6 college basketball teams in the AP poll, none of them are in the Eastern time zone. I saw that stat today.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah. So
the ACC is really down. I mean,
Miami 5-0.
Right. They've won 9 games in a row now after beating Duke the other night. Duke fell, to number 9 today. Carolina's played really well against Virginia on Saturday. They're up and down.
They lost to Notre Dame last midweek before beating Virginia.
Yep, they sure did. Yeah. So I mean, it's and Virginia's not nearly as good as they've been in the last 6-7 years, but they played better against Clemson. They lost to Clemson. That's why I don't bet on basketball. They lost by 17 to Clemson at home. Played them a week later as a 3-point underdog at Clemson. I would have taken Clemson all day long, and Virginia beat them by 10. Doesn't make any sense.
Not at all. Never does. That's why we love sports. You hadn't watched these two teams play.
We haven't watched these two teams.
All right, Bailey. Enjoy your evening, man. Appreciate you joining us.
Sounds good. Take care.
Double B, Brian Bailey, joining us on the Pirate Radio Live line. Let's take a timeout, come back, wrap up hour 3. Psych. Wrap up hour 1. Man, I was ready to get home. But we got a lot of great guests coming up on the show. We got the ECU hockey guys rolling in at 4 o'clock. Brock Anderson from AEW at 4:30. Troy D will be here in hour 3, and we'll open up the booty bag. A lot more to go on Pirate Radio Live here on a Monday after this.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Hello, Eastern North Carolina. If you're looking for a great place to work with competitive pay and advancement opportunities, Pitt County Schools is hiring. We employ over 3,000 people, and we're one of the largest employers in Pitt County. Pitt County Schools is currently seeking teachers, bus drivers, school nutrition personnel, facility staff, custodians, clerical staff, and more. We offer advanced leadership opportunities for our educators and competitive pay for our skilled labor force. Come work for a diverse, thriving school system and be an important part of ensuring success for the students of Pitt County who are the future of Eastern North Carolina. To fill out an application, visit our website today at pittschools.org. That's pittschools.org, or go directly to our job postings at bit.ly/PCS employment. That's bit.ly/PCS employment. Pitt County Schools, engaging, empowering, and elevating every student and every staff member every single day.
This is Martin Truex Jr., and as a NASCAR Cup Series champion, I love one-stop shopping. When I need fresh tires or fuel during a race, my pit crew takes care of everything. Off the track, I have an auto owner's independent agent. They handle all my insurance in one place: car, home, life, and business. Get your own pit crew and find a local agency with auto owners insurance.
This is Norm Bryant with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates.
Did you know time spent outdoors can help improve your children's health and bring balance to their life? The Outdoor Heritage Advisory Council invites you to join the Patch Program. This program is for any child under the age of 16 and includes activities like fishing, hunting, and hiking. These are just one of the many ways you can earn the exclusive patches from the Outdoor Heritage Council. For more information on how to sign up and get your adventure started, visit outdoorheritage.nc.gov.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Matt Driscoll. Please join us at A.J. Fletcher Music Hall or live stream on February 17th at 7:30 p.m. when Durward Ensemble will be on the campus of East Carolina University presenting works from our upcoming album, Prophetic Revolutions, and a world premiere by ECU alumna and Miss America 2019, Nia Franklin. If you would like to learn more or support our group, go to our website, durwardmusic.com. We look forward to seeing you Thursday, February 17th.
Hey, this is John Grillo, the Bagel Man. You know I love bagels. I don't settle for frozen bagels. That's why we make our bagels right here in Greenville from scratch every day. If you're coming into Bagel Man, you'll notice that there's some renovation going on. Our menu is bigger and better than ever. Our sandwiches, heroes, subs, salads, wraps, bagel dogs, fresh baked pastries, and our new coffee bar. Soon we're going to be opening for dinner. Don't forget Bagel Man for all your catering needs on Fire Tower Road in Greenville.
Pirate Radio.
The
voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Do you need custom t-shirts, apparel, or promotional items for your business, organization, or event? Keep it local. Print it local with University Sportswear. Contact them today at universitysportswearenc.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Tommy's Express Car Wash. Come experience the difference at Tommy's. Now open at the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Red Banks Road. Doesn't your car deserve it? Visit Tommy's Express Car Wash today. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip Brock.
Alrighty, back with you here on Pirate Radio Live, wrapping up hour number 1. Black Monday in the NFL. My coach has been retained, Ron Rivera. Chandler, your coach, retained, Matt Rule, to the chagrin of Panthers fans.
Whoops, sorry.
Yeah, just keep my mic off.
And if one of the producers of this program were to have their coach fired, I would have put all my money on Matt Rule and not Shirley's Dolphins firing Brian Flores.
Because Chris Greer is an idiot.
That was surprising, although it sounds like this is more off the field than on the field stuff. It sounds like there was just some disagreement.
No, the disagreement really comes from the offensive side of the ball. If you go back and look, they've had 3 to 4 offensive coordinators in the last couple of years. And that's where the problem lies, is that they can't seem to figure out who is going to be calling the plays. But as far as a head coach goes, Brian Flores had 2 back-to-back winning seasons. He was 10-6 last year, 9-8 this year. You know, they were finally getting a team that is not an embarrassment to the, to the organization when they take the field. But Chris Greer has got to go. He's been there for 20 years. What have the Dolphins done in the last 20 years, with the exception of the last 2 years? That's exactly right. Fire Chris Greer.
The Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, had one of the most asinine quotes I've ever seen an owner have when talking about Jim Harbaugh. So Ross is a Michigan guy. Jim Harbaugh may be the best candidate out there if he's going to jump from college to the NFL for the second time. But he said, quote, "I have no coach in mind at this point." This is after firing Flores. "We're going to do a thorough review and interview process." And Jim Harbaugh, I love Jim Harbaugh. He had the opportunity once before to come to the Miami Dolphins, but he's at the University of Michigan. That is my school I graduated from, and I'm very involved in it. And I'm not going to be the person to take Jim Harbaugh from the University of Michigan. I hope he stays there. He's a great coach.
Just
Wait,
shut up.
is he rooting for his college
Shut
more
up.
than his own team that he owns?
That's what I'm saying.
Insane to me.
That's why I'm telling you why the Dolphins have sucked for ages.
Now I'm pulling for him to go somewhere else.
And if Harbaugh if Harbaugh stays at Michigan, it's not because that idiot says he should stay there. It'll be because Michigan comes up with the money, and they've got it. They've got the resources to match the type of money that USC threw at Lincoln Riley. Because right now, he's not making that kind of money.
Chandler, if you owned the Panthers and Mike Houston was the hottest coaching candidate, and he coached your ECU Pirates, and you're so...
I don't want to take him away from the Pirates.
You're so
I don't want him to be my coach because I don't want him to leave ECU.
But football coaching and owning a football team is a business.
So whenever the Bears...
You do what's best for your business.
So whenever the Bears hire Jim Harbaugh, and we'll talk to Troy D coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. I think this is the guy that he wants to be the head coach for the Bears coming up. Whenever he does get hired by the Bears, Steve Ross is going... Woo, man, I tell you what, thank God I didn't hire him away from Michigan.
Not only has Harbaugh left Michigan, which he doesn't want to happen, now he's for another NFL team when you could have potentially had... that is the weirdest thinking I've ever heard an owner say.
This is right along the lines of whoever made the decision to have T-Pain do the freaking Miami Dolphins song.
It has never been the same since then.
We are the most dysfunctional NFL team in the history of NFL teams, and I'm so angry.
The T-Pain jinx.
Holy cow, Chris Greer better not ever walk down a dark alley and me be on the other end of it. That's all I'm saying.
Brian Flores 4-2 against Bill Belichick.
That's what I'm saying.
19.
How many head coaches in that division alone have that kind of record against Bill Belichick?
19 wins in the past 2 years, and just like Clip said, 4-2 against Bill Belichick.
Did you say they had a winning record the last 2 years?
Yes, they were 10-6 last year, and they were 9-8 this year.
They had a 7-game win streak.
Yes.
Now, of course, they had a long losing streak, too.
Correct, but they turned it around. It's real easy to give up. I mean, I have watched a Dolphins game where Tannehill, when Ryan Tannehill was the quarterback, Tannehill throws to a wide-open running back who had slipped out from the backfield, was 5 yards downfield, and the running back freaking ducked to avoid the ball. And at that point, I thought, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm done being a Dolphins fan. If you can't even freaking catch the ball and you just duck because you just don't feel like throwing your hands up, I don't know what the hell happened in that play. But that's the one play where I just said, I'm done. I'm done. But then they hire Brian Flores, and Flores did what he could everything he could possibly do to turn that thing around. And we were starting to see some promise. We were seeing some promising defensive play. The offense still struggled. We are still offensively very bad. But the defense was keeping us in ball games, and then we went on that streak because it's very easy to quit mid-season when you're 1-7. But then you turn it around and go 8-1.
It's weird. Again, it has nothing to do with on the field. It's got to be a disagreement. Could stem from the quarterback situation where maybe he wanted Watson or another quarterback, and ownership wants Tua. Something that it's got to be something.
A disagreement leads to the firing of a coach that gave you 19 wins and a 4-2 record over Bill Belichick.
This is what somebody please buy the Miami Dolphins.
We're talking about a guy that won't hire Jim Harbaugh because he coaches at Michigan.
That's
so yeah,
ridiculous.
He'll fire anybody.
That's ridiculous.
I don't know. All right, we
fire Chris Greer.
Get a break in.
Sell the Dolphins.
As we did go to break, Clip. On Facebook, American Athletic Conference. Earlier in the program, we were talking about the double-dacker that was the buzzer beater against East Carolina, Damian Dunn being that guy.
What'd you call it?
Double dagger?
Oh, dagger.
That didn't sound like a double dagger. That sounded like double dacker.
Yeah, I heard it.
And I was like, what is that?
Double dagger. All right.
I was like, were you trying to say double decker? What were you trying to say there?
The double dagger that was the game-winning 3 by Damian Dunn being from Kinston.
Yes.
I just saw on Facebook, American Athletic Conference, Houston Cougars men's hoops, Josh Carlton, and Temple University men's basketball, Damian Dunn, take home this week's American Hoops
Is that
honors.
a triple dagger?
That's a triple dagger.
Because Josh Carlton
is from Winterville. So Carlton averaged 26 points and 11.5 rebounds, including a career-high 30 points against South Florida And then Dunn hit 2 game-winning threes this week, including a career-high 33 points against East Carolina.
That is nuts. All right, let's take a break. That is salt in the wound right there. When we return, we'll talk to the guys from the ECU hockey team. Let you know how you can go watch them play some hockey and give you all the details. We're back with you after this.
Hey dads, it's back. Plan to join us for our 6th annual Daddy-Daughter Dance Friday, February 11th at Rock Springs. This event will be a fun night of games, music, photo keepsakes, raffle tickets, and of course, dancing. Best of all, 100% of the proceeds will go to Daughters for Dads, which supports local families affected by cancer. Sponsorship opportunities are also available. Purchase your tickets today by going to eventbrite.com and search for Daughters for Dads. We will see you Friday, February 11th at Rock Springs.
Hey Pirate Nation, Lindsay Gray here with Carolina Caliber. In 1960, my granddaddy started his firearm business right here in Eastern NC. Still family owned and operated, we have the area's largest selection for outdoor shooting sports and accessories and are one of the nation's top firearm dealers. At Carolina Caliber, we have everything you need from hunting, home defense, and personal protection, including a wide variety for ladies and youth. We buy, sell, and trade. It's a time-honored tradition. Visit us at Carolina Caliber on Fire Tower Road in Winterville.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Holt Nailers for my friends at Arc Point Labs. Just as I trust my teammates, you can trust Arc Point Labs to give you quick and accurate results for all your laboratory testing needs. If you are in need of COVID testing for your return to school, work, or for travel, Arc Point Labs is offering same-day PCR and antigen testing with little to no wait time. Please visit any of the 6 Eastern North Carolina Arc Point Labs locations or make an appointment now at onehourcovidresults.com. Go Pirates!
The convenience of Pitt Greenville Airport is waiting just outside your front door. Service is back, so you're connected to destinations worldwide through flights from American Airlines. Plan your next trip. Book your flights today at flypgv.com or aa.com.
Avoid the long check-in lines and congestion at the big airports and fly local at PGV. Fast, convenient, and close to home, PGV has recently added more American Airlines flights. Book today at aa.com. PGV, where the pirates fly.
Chico's Mexican Restaurant is the home of the best margaritas. Grab your amigos and head to Chico's every Tuesday for the Gulf of Mexico. A huge 38-ounce lime margarita for only $7.99. On Thursdays, relax and enjoy half-price pitchers of Chico's house margaritas. Choose from lime, strawberry, blood orange, raspberry, or peach. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's Mexican Restaurant in downtown Greenville and online at chicosrestaurant.com. Chico's, where the fiesta never ends.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey cheesy crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously, but as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
There's no better time to drive away with a quality pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer. We specialize in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust our team for your off-road experience. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork or online at greenvilleautowworld.net.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, W224EI Greenville, WDLX Washington, and W281CH Washington. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Tommy's Express Car Wash. Come experience the difference at Tommy's. Now open at the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Red Banks Road. Doesn't your car deserve it? Visit Tommy's Express Car Wash today. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. Be sure to check out David Price Construction for all of your commercial or custom residential renovation and building needs. Run by ECU alumni, David Price Construction specializes in commercial projects, maintenance on facilities, and large-scale residential renovations and additions. David Price Construction, the proud ECU Home Services partner. Give them a call today at 919-292-5532 or visit them online at davidpriceconstruction.com. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip Brock.
Alrighty, back with you here on a Monday edition of Pirate Radio Live, hour 2 of today's show, and some interesting topics in hour number 2 coming up at 4:30. We'll talk to ECU alum and now AEW wrestler Brock Anderson. He'll join us on the show coming up, as AEW will be in Raleigh coming up Wednesday night with AEW Dynamite. So we'll talk to Brock Anderson, son of the legendary Arn Anderson and an ECU grad, and talk about his story. Troy D will be in here at 5 o'clock. He's got some Raleigh ties, and so do a couple of these guys who join us now in the Pirate Radio studios, as we'll get to know what's going on with the ECU Club Hockey Pirates, as the coach joins us here and a couple players as well. And let's go around the horn and introduce everyone. And Luke, we'll start with you.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having us. Coach Luke Brozovic. Probably my first full season here at ECU. Came in last year with the COVID-affected season. But, came down here from Pittsburgh and joined Greenville so far.
All right, there you go, CJ. We got another Pittsburgh guy in here. Chris, tell us about yourself.
My name is Chris Deperno. I'm team safety officer and one of the assistant captains on the team. I'm a junior here at ECU. I've been playing for the Pirates for going on 3 years now, and I was raised in Apex area, right near Raleigh.
All right, and Hudson?
Yes, sir. Hudson Schaefer, club president. I've been playing hockey in Raleigh since I was about 6 years old. I've been at ECU for 3 years now, and I'm graduating this spring.
All right, good deal. And, I was going to ask where you guys are from. I grew up playing baseball, basketball, football, I guess traditional sports, not a lot of hockey in Eastern North Carolina, although I guess with the hurricanes coming and now you're seeing it more and more, and being right there in Raleigh, how big was that growing up, the sport of hockey for kids?
Honestly, it wasn't very big. As a kid, there's only around 60 kids that are playing hockey in the area at your age group, so you tend to learn everybody's name. Everybody knows each other, and it ends up being a pretty close-knit group. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Had a great time growing up with those guys.
When did you start playing, Chris?
I started when I was about 8 years old, personally. But like you were saying, it was pretty cool growing up in the area and playing. I mean, we played against each other. I mean, not on the same team, but actually against each other pretty much every other year for on and off 10 years, something like that. Like, it wasn't big when we were younger, but there's a lot that's been going on, especially with the Canes. They've been doing a great job to really build hockey in the state, and in the South in general, it's really starting to grow and become more mainstream.
Luke, what's your background in hockey?
I started playing when I was about 3 or 4 years old, and then my junior high school, I actually have a heart condition, so I had to retire when I was 17 and got into coaching right off there, and have pretty much coached every year since. But being in Pittsburgh, obviously you got I couldn't tell you I was young, but I think it got hit a boom whenever the Pens won the Cup in the early 90s, and that's about the time I started playing, and it's gotten bigger there with everything going on, and so coming down to Greenville, I knew it wasn't really known that ECU even had a team, because I still walk around, and when you tell them, I coach the ECU hockey team, people are like, I didn't know they had a team. I think it's like, I think they've had a team for about 20 years now, so...
I feel like you guys do have a bit of a cult following, and every time you guys play like an NC State or somebody like that, and you also have some weird face-off times. I've seen it, some late night games and things like that.
That's club hockey for you.
But you guys have had some big crowds over the years. Let's talk about what's going on currently. So the new season is about to begin.
Yeah, second half of the season. I'll let these guys talk about it.
Second half of the season, we're feeling good. We're at 11-2 right now, so we hope to close out the season strong. We have playoffs in March, so we're hoping to launch off and have a good time in playoffs. We actually, like you said, we play NC State here February 4th, So we're looking forward to that one. That's a big one. It's a big name team in the area. So we're going to look to compete in that game and put our best foot forward.
That'll be on a Friday night. So second half of the season. I was mistaken. Getting ready to begin. So you take a break, I guess, when the new year comes around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't get to play or have any team sanctioned events over the winter break when everybody's out of school. The guys tend to work, though. I mean, we get a lot of guys going to local sticking pucks, going back home, sticking pucks, working out off the ice. Like, we've got a really strong group of guys this year that are showing a lot of drive and a lot of desire to perform and compete at a higher level than ECU hockey's really ever seen.
Where do you play your home games?
Carolina Ice Zone. It's about 5 minutes down the road.
And is that the only place you can get on skates and play hockey around here, or in Greenville?
I believe so.
Yeah. So you're kind of limited as to. So when do you practice? When are you able to get in there and get some work in?
Yeah, we practice 2 nights a week. We'll think we have our first one tomorrow night. So then home games are typically Friday, Saturday nights. Usually always at 9:15 p.m. too.
Yeah, the late start times. What everybody gets the pregame and tailgate for those, right? So what's the home game schedule looking like for the next few weeks? You said NC State in February. How about leading up to that?
So actually, NC State's on the road.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be up at the Wake Competition Center for that one. Our second half home schedule's not a lot. We just added this first game Saturday. We'll play Stevenson out of Maryland. 9:15. We're Division 3 actually in club, so they're Division 2. So we got them Saturday, and then the only other home games we had scheduled was our senior weekend in mid-February. But we had UAB scheduled, and we just found out apparently they don't have a team. So we're looking.
It's the life of club hockey.
We're trying to find a replacement right now. So, but that would be another chance for everybody to come out and see the game.
For more information, if people want to see the schedule and the team, where can people find that at?
Website is ecuhockey.com. We're transferring over to a new website, so they can get schedule. That's on me to get everything together. So I still got to add on. But tickets are $5, $15. $5.
I think is it $3 for students with an ID?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something
we'll go with that.
Those lines. Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's a pretty cheap option, though.
So how do you go about getting? So did you guys come to East Carolina just as students and then find out about club hockey, or was that a factor in you coming to East Carolina? Like, how did all that come about?
Well, personally, I came to East Carolina to be a student, and honestly, I wasn't even going to play until a couple of guys that I played hockey with in Raleigh. We're a small, close-knit group. They convinced me to play, and I'm glad I did. I've made a lot of good friendships there, and if there are any youth hockey players out there that need a place to play hockey and they want to keep going in college, it's a great place to do it.
How about you, Chris? Did you know about the team before coming here, or find out when you got here?
Yeah, I knew about the team. I did a year in juniors in the Raleigh area. Kind of realized I didn't want to go anywhere up north to play. I mean, go spend $35,000 plus a year out of state tuition plus playing hockey. It's a lot. And all the local schools kind of had it, and I ended up settling on ECU because I liked what was going on academically with them. Got in touch with the team a bit beforehand and came out, watched some games, and just kind of liked the environment that I saw and kind of liked the culture that I saw with the team. Felt it would be a good fit for me. Club hockey's college hockey, man. Everywhere in this area, people say, "Oh, your club, you're not varsity." That's college hockey, man. It's good stuff.
So how do you guys go about making sure the future is going to be bright here at East Carolina with club hockey? How do you go about getting it known out there to students, recruiting players? What do you guys do to stock the team? Not just this year, but moving forward.
Word of mouth.
That's it.
We got a lot of guys that especially kids coming from out of state. We tell them, if you got younger buddies that looking for somewhere to play, get them to come down here. Like, we get a lot of kids from Raleigh and stuff like that, but we've got probably half our team is out of state northerners from like Pennsylvania, Jersey, places like that. And we love telling them, like, get your buddies to come down here next year. Tell them to look into applying to ECU and come play hockey. I mean, it's all real word of mouth. We don't get to do a ton of true recruiting just because we're a club sport. Right. We don't really have resources for it. But yeah, I mean, people kind of hear about it, especially if you're in the area. There's hockey in the area, even if it's not a varsity program. So it's a lot of word of mouth.
A lot of equipment in hockey. So, from a funding aspect, how much does East Carolina do? How much are you guys on your own as far as that goes?
Players have to pay dues every year. It's not a free ride, absolutely not. But we're very fortunate to have club sports here at ECU. They do a lot for us. They give us a lot of money, but we also have to pick up the rest because hockey is an expensive game. Ice time's expensive, gear's expensive. It adds up,
and the players get things. Part of their dues, you're not, part of your dues is for the ice time, the travel, the jerseys, your shells, whatever, getting a helmet or something like that. But I will give kudos to the club sports department at ECU. I mean, I was coaching at University of Pittsburgh and Penn State, and Pittsburgh, it was just nothing against it, but they just didn't keep track of the hockey, like the club sports. We were off campus, and we kind of just did what we wanted to do, which was kind of nice to a point. But here, I mean, you have a trainer at practice, which I'm not used to. I mean, these guys have their own locker room, which I'm not used to. I said, so it's a really good program, and the school does, keep watching everything like that, which is great for me.
What are your future plans to be around here a little while?
Yeah, so our goal is, we're Division III. Our goal is to move up to Division II next year. So then we will play, NC State, UNC, Wake Forest, teams like that, more on the regular. It would probably be a little bit easy on the travel with the D2 because there's a lot more North Carolina state teams that are D2 over D3, like Duke as well. And my plan was coming in here. I don't want to say too much, but they weren't in the best terms with the school as a program when I came in. And I was told that when I interviewed, which honestly I didn't mind at all. And these guys were here in the spring when I came down after we finally got cleared to do some stuff. And we kind of told them right off the bat, it's going to change. Your attitude's going to change, and they're probably sick of my voice. They probably love break because they didn't have to hear me talk about it anymore. But no, it was. So my plan is just to keep improving them as much as we can. And going back to the recruiting, I mean, I don't go and watch people, but we get people injured. I just had to talk to a kid Saturday on the phone and just kind of tell them, if you want to come here, you can. And these guys are returners, and I tell the returners every year, you're not guaranteed to come back. So it's not a scholarship sport, so you don't have that.
So you'll play through what, March? You say?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And is this your final year?
Yeah, this would be my final semester of club hockey. So the clock's ticking. I need to make the most of it.
How about you, Chris? How much longer you got?
I got the end of this year. I actually planned a fifth year, specifically in no small part because I want another year of club hockey. So I got the end of this year, and I got 2 more after.
I host sports trivia every Wednesday night at AJ's, and there's a group of guys that come in, and I think they're part of the recreation league in Greenville that play. You might have crossed paths with them.
Probably the adult
I
league.
play in the league. So,
okay, great. All right. Well, are you ever up there at AJ's on Wednesday nights?
Not on Wednesday nights, but I'll try and get up there.
Okay, yeah. Actually, there's a big group of table of hockey dudes that come in and put on whatever the national game is and watch hockey. But so are you going to keep on, you're still a young guy. You're going to keep on playing?
That's a tough question. The next 4 years, I'm hoping to get into dental school next year. So
awesome.
I don't know how much time there's going to be for hockey, but I hope to be on the ice every once in a while when I can.
What a great profession for a hockey guy, too. You'll be working on a lot of your buddies. That's a great idea.
Very true.
Because it's hard to just play some pickup hockey, right? Like it was easy to take a basketball to a goal and be like, "Hey, you want to get 3-on-3 going?"
Right.
A little more difficult for hockey, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. If you're gonna play, you got to get into one of the adult leagues in the area. But that is the beauty of the sport. When you get older, it's so low impact. Most of those adult leagues aren't contact or anything like that. You'll be playing with people who are pushing 60 or 70 in some of those leagues, and they're just still doing it. I mean, yeah, he's a young dude, but he can take 4 years off, hop right back on the bike, and do it forever.
Good deal. All right. Well, anything else we need to know, guys?
That's kind of a self-promotion. Just, we're always looking for sponsorships. So these guys do pay dues and always helps us with stuff like that. And we've gotten a lot of inquiries about jersey sales. And so anyone listening that has been one of those people or just wondering, we just got new uniforms, and we're working with the retailer we did that through to get a sale going up here probably within the next month. They're trying to get photos done to make sure they can broadcast them well enough.
Definitely, that would be
we'll definitely try and get you guys something. So
all right, cool. Yeah. That I see that question quite a bit actually. So that could be a nice little fundraiser for you. A lot of Pirate fans will be excited about that. So home game coming up this weekend?
Saturday at 9:15.
All right, so Saturday you've got NFL playoffs. You can watch some of that. Go to Minji's, watch the basketball game. And then Saturday night, finish your night off with some hockey.
There you go.
Great night in Greenville.
It's good hockey too, man. Don't underestimate it.
Good deal. Hey, nice to meet you guys. Appreciate you coming in.
Appreciate
and
you having us.
Let us know if you need anything else, and we'll talk more hockey with you maybe in towards the end of the season.
Awesome.
You guys
Sounds
come
great.
back on.
Looking forward to it.
We'd love to come back on.
Chris Luke Hudson joining us today here inside the Pirate Radio studios. Let's take a time out, come back. We'll have more for you. Brock Anderson, a former Pirate, now a wrestler, going to join us on the show. He'll be part of AEW Dynamite coming up Wednesday night in Raleigh at the PNC Arena. We'll talk about that when we return on Pirate Radio Live after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Cadillac. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, get an all-new 2022 Cadillac CT5 and save up to $1,500 off. As always, Brown & Wood is the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
I can't think of anyone who doesn't love a clean car, but how often do you actually go to the car wash? Does it take too long, or maybe it's just not a very nice place? Tommy's Express changes everything. Our wash is bright, inviting, clean, and fast.
I love the flat conveyor belt. So easy to pull onto, much smoother ride, and safer for my car.
And when you join Tommy Club, you can wash as often as you like for one low monthly price.
I save money and time.
We're Tommy's Express.
At the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Red Banks Road, Greenville.
It's a new year and we have some exciting news at Angel Oak Home Loans. This is Talbot Green and I would like to introduce you to the newest member of our team, Braxton Green. I've known Braxton his entire life because he's my nephew. He is also a recent ECU graduate and has lived in Eastern North Carolina his entire life.
This is Braxton Green and I'm looking forward to working with you with your next home loan or refinance. Give us a call at Angel Oak Home Loans today at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685842. Equal housing lender.
Uptown Greenville's newest dining experience is open and ready to serve you. The Sidebar, a Tex-Mex fusion restaurant, offers dinner and weekend brunch. Located at 707 Dickinson Avenue, right beside the DAP House, the Sidebar has indoor dining and patio seating for everyone to enjoy. For the latest information on reservations, menu items, and more, follow the Sidebar on Facebook or on Instagram at sidebar.greenville.
Hey Pirate fans, Derek Pizzeni from Carolina Wealth Management. Are you a fiduciary? That's a question every investor should ask their advisor. A fiduciary is an individual who acts in the best interest of a particular person or beneficiary. Is your advisor a fiduciary? You should know it's your money. At Carolina Wealth Management, we do things differently from other investment firms. To learn more about the benefits of working with a fiduciary advisor, visit mycarolinawealth.com. That's mycarolinawealth.com.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Scott Harris with RE/MAX Preferred Realty. I've been in Greenville over 25 years. I'm a proud graduate of ECU. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, then give me a call today and let me help make your real estate process fun and easy. I keep it simple and explain the process every step of the way. My goals are your goals. There are no long-term contracts and you always deal with me from start to finish. The right home starts with the right agent. Call me, Scott Harris, at 347-1857. Go Pirates!
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky Snowballs. From big kids to little kids, Sparky Snowballs has been making smiles happen for over 20 years. If you're not in the mood to chill out with a snowball, Sparky's funnel cakes and fried Oreos are a perfect Sparky-licious treat every time. Are you having an event, party, or fundraiser? Call Sparky's to come on site. Remember to follow Sparky's on Facebook or visit SparkySnowballs.com to see where they'll be next.
This is Stephen Igo. You've heard from me plenty on Pirate Radio Live and perhaps have read some of my work on HoistTheColors.net. Now, get an extension of our in-depth coverage on the Hoist the Colors podcast. From game previews to immediate post-game analysis to emergency podcasts for breaking news, we've got you covered. A cast of guest co-hosts from fans, former coaches, and other writers join me for 2 podcasts weekly to break down all things ECU athletics. Subscribe to Hoist the Colors now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.
Hi, this is Phil Steele of Nation.
This hour of PRL is brought to you by Tommy's Express Car Wash. Come experience the difference at Tommy's. Now open at the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Red Banks Road. Doesn't your car deserve it? Visit Tommy's Express Car Wash today. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. Do you have real estate questions about buying or selling residential or commercial properties? Are you curious about this current real estate market? Or do you need a property manager for rental houses? ECU alum Scott Harris with RE/MAX and SD Harris Properties can help answer every question you have and show you a stress-free real estate experience that will be memorable and enjoyable. If you have real estate questions, Scott has answers. Call him today at 347-1857. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip Brock.
Alrighty, back with you here on Pirate Radio Live on a Monday. Got Troy D coming up in hour 3. Talk about the Bears reshuffling at the top with Matt Nagy out, Ryan Pace out as well. So they'll have a GM and a coach to hire. We'll talk about the rest of Black Monday as a lot of changes made in the NFL. And also, how about the Jags fans showed up yesterday in clown gear and they beat the Colts. Joe Judge referred to Washington as a clown organization, and the Giants lost to Washington. So good day to be a clown in the NFL yesterday.
Positive day.
2 clowns, winners.
I'd like to thank Trevor Lawrence very much.
Yeah, he helped the Steelers get into the playoffs. All right, more NFL talk coming up in a moment, but right now we'll head out to the Pirate Radio Live line and welcome in East Carolina alum and AEW wrestler Brock Anderson joins us on the program today. Brock, thanks so much for your time. How you doing, man?
Hey, fellas, how are y'all?
Doing fantastic. Great to talk with you, man. Got Clip Brock, Glenn Griffin here in the Pirate Radio studios. The big dog, a big wrestling fan, Glenn, a big AEW fan. And good to hear from Brock today.
I know. We'll be hearing from him again on Wednesday night in Raleigh at PNC Arena as AEW Dynamite comes to town.
How about that returning back to North Carolina, Brock? I know you're excited about that.
Oh, God, I love it, man. You know, it's back to, I got a lot of people I know in Raleigh, a lot of friends in Raleigh, been to Raleigh many times, just right down the road from Greenville, so it's basically a second home. Pretty amped about it, to be honest with you.
Brock, let's talk about, how you got to East Carolina. Talk about where you're from, how you made it to ECU.
So I'm born and raised in Charlotte, North Carolina. Grew up off Providence Road. If you're from Charlotte, you know Providence. Went to Providence High School. Graduated from there in 15 and then enrolled in ECU in the fall of 15.
Did you play any sports, or was it all about pro wrestling for you? What'd you do there in high school?
So growing up, I played football and wrestled in high school for obvious reasons. I wasn't anything, wasn't all conference or anything in football. I was really small my senior year, believe it or not. I played starting left tackle at 170 pounds. Only reason I could get away with that is because my starting left guard was 310 pounds, so he helped me out tremendously. Wrestled senior year, I was all conference, but never like a state finalist or anything like that.
Brock Anderson joining us. Brock, when you're walking through the campus of East Carolina, are you just like the student named Brock, or are you Arn Anderson's son? Like, I had heard that, hey, do you know Arn Anderson's son is at ECU? How much did you get that in school, and how much were you just a regular guy named Brock?
I was just a regular guy named Brock. If anything, which I still hear today, I heard it about 3 times, nobody ever comes up and says, God, you look like Arn Anderson. I've heard that maybe 1 time. The one I always got, which I've heard 5 times today, was, God, man, has anybody ever told you look like Greg Olson?
I see that too.
I see it a lot. It's there.
Charlotte, you hear that every single day. And you know what, to be honest with you, it gets frustrating sometimes. But when you think about it, there's a lot worse people you can look like.
That's true. Hey, he's a good-looking fellow. You'll take that. Brock Anderson joining us today on Pirate Radio. So, Brock, the obvious question, with your background, your father, your family, was wrestling something you wanted to do from day one? Did you ever think, all right, I don't want to do what Dad and the family does? When did you really make that decision to go into pro wrestling?
So, I've been asked, a lot of the guys backstage ask me this question, and, I try to put it together. Like anybody else growing up, you go through phases of what you want to be. You want to be a cop, you want to be a firefighter, you want to be a pro football player. I always wanted to be a wrestler, it was always right there because I was always backstage. I always got to see this unique way of life, and as crazy as it sounded, it just became normal. So it was always just there, but it wasn't always consistent. But I can tell you the moment that it clicked for me was WrestleMania 25. We always got to go to WrestleMania with my dad. WWE would treat it like they'd let the families come. It'd be like a vacation for us almost. So WrestleMania 25, I'm sure y'all remember the match that I'm about to talk about. It was Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, the first one. And I sat there. Usually I would just sit there because those shows got long. So I'd sit there and sometimes I'd be on the Game Boy or something, just killing time. But I remember watching that match start to finish and thinking it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. And I'm like, okay, I get it now. This is what I want to do. And I was probably 12 years old when that happened.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Makes me feel old, Brock, to be honest with you. How do you make the transition from being at ECU to being a professional wrestler? I assume you were training this whole time, but are you training out west in Charlotte? I think you're involved with Lodi's camp of WCW fame out there in the west.
Correct. So backtrack a little bit. If it was up to me, I might have never even got to go to East Carolina. I was probably senior year of high school, knowing I was about to graduate. I was starting to tinker and throw the idea out. I was like, all right, Dad, this is what I want to do. I don't want to waste you and Mom's money getting this degree. Why don't we just start training right out of high school? And my dad probably was 30% for it. He wasn't full on, but he wasn't saying exactly no either. But my mom, God bless her, she was smart. She was like, absolutely not. You're getting your degree, because there's no certainty in pro wrestling. You don't know. You could blow your knee out. There's so many factors that could go into it. You could just go like that. So you have to have a backup plan. So thank God for my mom that I enrolled in ECU and got my degree.
And through most of your time, maybe all your time at ECU, there was no AEW. AEW jumps on the scene and now is a major player in pro wrestling. So how did you sign on with them? I know a lot of famous names with Anderson and Rhodes that are up there working with AEW. So how did you jump on with those guys?
Yep. So like I said, I want to do it out of high school. So I was like, all right, I'll get my degree. So I graduated in December 19th, took the old extra victory lap semester, and literally the month after, I was like, all right, it's time to start. Started training at the Team Fearless Training Academy with Lodi from the Flock in WCW, like y'all mentioned, in January 2020, the very next month.
And he is actually a pirate as well, from what I understand. I did not know that. That was news to me today.
I won't give you what year he graduated. I don't want to date him like that bad, but yeah, he's a former pirate.
I'm pretty sure Troy D and Lodi were in school at the same time. We'll ask him at 5 o'clock.
What a time. What a time in the elbow room on campus.
And I believe I see on social media, did you wrestle him somewhat recently, Brock?
No, we actually have a match coming up on the 22nd in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Pirate versus Pirate.
Is that on the same show, Brock, as the FTR versus the Rock and Roll Express?
Yes, it is. I'm looking forward to watching that match because that's just one legendary tag team versus probably, in my estimation, the current best tag team in professional wrestling.
Without a doubt.
Brock Anderson joining us right now. Brock, I say this as a compliment. When I was coming up, I watched wrestling as a kid in the early 90s, got away from it, and then in high school when I was around 15, 16, people started talking more about it. I was like, wait, people watch wrestling? Then it actually became cool with the Attitude Era, with the NWO and WCW. And then Vince said, all right, enough of that. We're taking over. And the WCW wasn't a thing anymore, and WWE just ran shop. Well, now AEW not only comes on the scene, but you're seeing all these stars go over there to AEW. You're seeing the great time slots on television. And Glenn, you and CJ, you guys will be there Wednesday. There are a ton of people like you who prefer that way more than what's going on in the WWE right now. So I guess my question is, Brock, are you surprised at all at the way AEW has burst on the scene and been able to get so much traction in the wrestling world?
No, not in the slightest. I think people have been yearning for an alternative for years, and thank God that Tony Khan came on the scene when he did, with Kenny Omega, with Cody, with the Bucks spearheading, helping, and thank God that AEW came along, because I think a lot of people were ready for that alternative, and I think it's showing now.
I wanted to ask you, Brock, speaking of Cody, how far does your relationship with Cody Rhodes go back? I know you mentioned being backstage in WWE for some of those WrestleManias. You had to be around Cody at that time and maybe even before then.
Yeah, he's always, because, you know, the Anderson and the Rhodes have been linked at the hip for probably 40 years now. So, yeah, my dad was really instrumental in helping him backstage and helping him through his process at WWE. When he was with, I don't know if you remember Ted DiBiase Jr., they had the legacy with Randy Orton. He was a really big proponent in that whole thing, which helped when AEW started. He was one of the first people that, when my dad got released, he was one of the first people that texted him and said, basically, you know, there'll be something down the road. And that turned into him managing Cody. And to bounce off your earlier question on the whole training process, so I was training with Lodi at Team Fearless. And, you know, my dad would come with me, but he couldn't do anything in the ring because, you know, his neck, he's got the neck issues. He broke his neck 3 times, ended up ending his career. So he would go to work and, you know, they'd get to talking. I'm like, Cody knew I was training, and they'd be like, well, how's this training come along? And Dad would keep tabs or help, like, keep tags. He's like, hey, he's coming along. So he'd be like, well, anytime you want to come down, you can come down to the Nightmare Factory in Atlanta, which QT Marshall and Cody operate. They have a hell of a program going there. I think they just finished, like, their 9th class or something. It's like a 9-week class. They just finished that. And I was bouncing back and forth between here and there. So I trained for about a year. And then finally, I guess my dad was like, I think you're ready. So he told Cody, and Cody invited me up for a tryout in February 2021. So I had a tryout match with a guy by the name of John Scholar, who was a hell of a wrestler. He was wrestling for us then, and he trained with us at Lodi. And I owe him so much because he made me look so good. And apparently everybody else thought the same thing, so I signed a developmental deal that day after that tryout match. Apparently I did something right.
Awesome stuff. Brock Anderson joining us. AEW Dynamite coming up Wednesday night in Raleigh, North Carolina. Clip Brock here. Glenn Griffin will be at the show. CJ Schaefer will as well. CJ, you got something for Brock?
Yeah, Brock, I just wanted to ask you, you were just talking about the Nightmare Factory. I know you were trained a little bit by QT Marshall. Can you just share some of your experiences that you had training at the Nightmare Factory and how it helped you grow so quickly, knowing your career is just getting started in professional wrestling?
Okay, so this is meant entirely as a compliment. QT is not a guy you will go out and see do a bunch of flip-flop and fly off the turnbuckles and all that nonsense. He's a wrestler. My dad has said this quote many times. He looks like he could wrestle in 1985. Like, he's got that old school style, and it's really good teaching, because that's what you got to learn the basics before you get in this business, and he's really good at demonstrating those basics and why you should do it, where you should do it, and things of that nature. QT is a really good trainer.
You talk about the kind of the basics. When I think about basics, I think about your dad, and I think about the spine buster, and I think about the DDT. Is that something that's a part of your package in the ring?
Yep, I've been using those. I've started to incorporate the gourd buster as well.
Oh, I like that. A little bit of the brain buster days.
Yeah,
I like it.
Who and obviously Arn Anderson might be an answer to this. Who are your favorites coming up, Brock, as far as wrestlers go?
Believe it or not, let's see, my dad he had his neck surgery when I was about 4 months old, and he retired. I was 6 months old, so I never got to see him really wrestle. The only thing I ever got to see him in the ring that I remember was WrestleMania 18. It was Ric Flair and Undertaker, and he slid in and gave the spine buster in the Sky Dome. That was really cool.
Yeah,
that's really about all I saw, just from him. Believe it or not, it might seem funky in theory. I I always grew up a huge Shawn Michaels fan. I think he's the best probably ever to do it.
I like it. Why are you shaking your head, CJ? Who's your guy?
I'm a Bret Hart guy.
Same. You're dealing with a bunch of Bret Hart marks here, unfortunately.
I can't go Bret Hart either. I just didn't grow up watching him.
Sure.
I've back and watched tapes, and I know that he's probably, technically one of the best to ever do it. Just his style and just move to move, just technical wrestler. He's probably one of the best. But yeah, you can't argue with that.
You can't argue with Shawn Michaels' storytelling abilities either.
For sure.
No.
Great. So, how about that part of it, the psychology of it? I mean, are you the business is fascinating, Brock, and to be in it now, like how much are you learning the mental side to go with the physical side?
So that's where my dad comes in handy. He can't be in the ring with me, can move for move, but when I train, he's always on the outside, and he'll cut short and be like, "Listen, stop." And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, "All right, what did I do?" And he'll tell me why I shouldn't do that, where it should be, and just little things like that is where what separates the really good guys in this business. Just common sense things that you would just be like, when it's explained to you, like, "Oh God, it makes almost too much sense."
If I could ask you real quick to name drop a couple guys, who would you say are some people in AEW right now that you are looking forward to working with the most in the future?
To backtrack a little bit again, if me and my partner Lee Johnson could ever get in the ring with FTR, that'd be a day off from work and an absolute thrill. They are the best. I can't, and they come up and they're gracious enough. Dax he lives in Asheville.
Right.
He was gracious enough to come over one day and train over at Lodi's, which was absolutely thrilling because he's for a guy his stature to take time out of his day to come do that was really cool. It was really cool. And Cash, he doesn't show it all the time, but he can do some outrageous things that you would never think, just athletically speaking, in there. Mm-hmm. So that's probably the number one team that I think we'd like to wrestle.
They talk about being against the flips, but they can pull it off when they need to.
Oh, damn straight they can.
They do remind me a lot of an old school tag team too, which obviously it seems like that's what they're going for, but they do it very well.
On my video game years ago, my fantasy booking, I would have FTR at the time. They were in WWE, right?
Yes.
I would put them with, Arn Anderson was on the game, Ric Flair, create a new Four Horsemen. So
I like it.
Brock, you doing any fantasy booking, getting a stable ready for 2 or 3 years from now?
No fantasy booking, just trying to learn this business for real.
There you go.
It does seem that backstage in AEW that there are chances for guys to expand their repertoire and to learn more about the business and learn different areas.
Yeah, it's hard not to. When I think one of the really cool things, because we got a lot of young guys, and I don't know how they feel, but I know even for a guy like me who grew up in the business and grew up around it and knew all these guys before, but to get to work with guys like Jericho and Paul White, Mark Henry, Christian Cage, Matt Hardy, Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes can still go like he did in like 93. It's awesome to watch. And then you get to soak up knowledge from these guys who've been in the business for 30 years. You got my dad, you got Tully, you got Jake Roberts, Dustin Rhodes, you got Dean Malenko, Jerry Lynn, Billy Gunn. I mean, to not utilize those guys and their knowledge is just foolish.
The backstage is almost like a walking Hall of Fame. When you add in like all of that plus Sting and CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, it's just an endless trove of knowledge.
Actually, could I ask something about that? With some of the recent signings, such as Bryan Danielson and CM Punk, how have they kind of boosted the locker room and helped you guys out, especially younger guys like you?
I think they've shown all the younger guys how it's supposed to be, because they've done this for so long at such a high level, and they're such nice guys. When CM Punk came up and introduced himself to me, I was my mouth, like my jaw was on the ground. I was like, oh my God, he just came up and introduced himself to me, of all people. And I just watched Bryan Danielson and Hangman go an hour in, was it Greensboro?
Yes.
It was, and that was absolutely ridiculous. And Brian Danielson walked through the back, and he wasn't even remotely winded.
Just endless cardio.
It was amazing.
Question from Troy on Facebook Live. This is a good one to wrap it up on. So he mentions, Arn Anderson, part of the Four Horsemen. Brock, if you could form a Four Horsemen right now, who are your 3 running mates? If you could form a new one.
Selfishly, I'd have to be in there, and then probably FTR and Cody, and then maybe my dad in that JJ spot.
There you go.
I like it, man. That's strong.
That's what I'm talking about. Old school meets new school right there.
There we go. We got some fantasy booking out of.
I know. That's all I wanted. All right. So Wednesday night, AEW Dynamite. Folks can watch it on TNT. Glenn Griffin, CJ Schaefer, and I'm sure a lot of people from Eastern North Carolina will be making the trip to Raleigh, and it's a big night of wrestling. You guys are going to see, right?
Yep. Yeah, man. I think we'll get some Dynamite plus some AEW Dark tapings beforehand. So looking forward to it, man.
Great stuff. Well, Brock, really appreciate you joining us, man. It was great to talk to you, get to know you, and hopefully we can do it again down the road. Good luck in your career, man. We are all rooting for you here.
Yes, sir. This was the first one of these radio spots I've ever done, and I'm super glad that I got to do it Pirate Radio. Thank you all very much for having me.
All right, there you go. You never forget your first.
Thank you, Brock.
That was good stuff. Brock Anderson, I got a new favorite while I wait for Bray Wyatt to come back to the ring at some point. Is that ever going to happen?
Maybe. I think he's off making horror movies.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
Yeah, he's different.
Glenn, I like the way you say asked, but I think even more than that, the way you say repertoire.
It totally got messed up. I was hoping you didn't notice it.
Oh, I did. I just didn't want to stop the interview. It was big Kinston energy.
I caught
big
that.
Kinston energy. Repertoire. It sounds like
I raised an eyebrow. I was like, that's not how that.
It's
never
repertoire.
mind.
I know.
It's a new attraction at Jurassic Park. The repertoire. What a dude, man, and just kind of a regular guy.
He has that old school energy, though. Like, he reminds me of a dude that you could have seen come through the gates on WCW main event on Saturday night at 6:05 on the Superstation.
Right.
That type of energy.
When you watch him wrestle, I've seen him wrestle a few times now on like Dark and stuff like that, but you see the parallels with him and his dad for sure.
If he's got the DDT,
absolutely.
DDT and the spine buster is there.
Absolutely.
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sure he wants to create his own lane, but there's a lot of like legacy stuff with AEW, right? I mean, how many potential storylines can they do with Brock Anderson moving forward? It's like endless.
Right.
He can take his own path. He can go with the son fighting another legend son deal with Cody or whatever. Like, there's so many things you can do.
You
with
put the sons together.
Exactly. It's like an endless amount of things that could be done with him.
One of my favorite things that happened the first time that Brock appeared on Dynamite, he was, decked out in like some nice clothes and some nice pressed shorts and some deck shoes, and people immediately went to Monday Night Nitro and started looking up fit checks of Arn Anderson in comparison to where Brock was, and just putting them side by side, and just the son didn't fall far from the father in that case.
Well, I was going to say, as somebody who grew up watching his father wrestle, a lot of times when you have kind of like that father-son dynamic, sometimes, the son tends to want to distance themselves from the father because, sometimes they want to kind of get out from under the shadow, so to speak. But I like the fact that not only is he trying to find his own way through, in creating his own legacy, but just showing the amount of respect for the people that came through before him, including his father. And I think that is, for him, I think that's kind of awesome because there's a lot of wrestlers that do it for different reasons, but, he respects the history of, the sport.
Well, isn't Arn like the ultimate respect the biz guy, Glenn?
Yeah.
You love that phrase.
Yeah. I kind of can't imagine being when Brock was talking about being 12 years old and backstage at WrestleMania watching Mania and Taker, like the concept that like Ric Flair was never Ric Flair to him. It was
Uncle Rick or whatever.
It was Uncle Rick, Dad's friend from work.
And as a fan, that just blows your mind.
Dad's crazy work mate.
Richard.
I like that he's out there playing on a Game Boy too. Like not
like it's totally not. Yeah, just totally nonchalant about it.
God, I gotta go to Dad's job again.
I bet that crazy guy Rick will be there.
That kind of stuff is weird to think about. I was watching a documentary about Randy Orton, and I remember Paul Heyman was in there, and he was saying, "Yeah, I've known Randy Orton for like 40 years." Like,
well, there's all these pictures of like, because Bob Orton was in the WWE, and so there's pictures of like Randy Orton backstage as a child being held by Andre.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Just mind-breaking stuff.
And the baby Orton's going.
He's doing the pose.
Doing his pose. Glenn, who you got? Take us to break, Shirley.
Yep.
Georgia, Bama tonight.
Giving him Tide.
Roll Tide.
Yes,
CJ,
sir.
who you got?
Roll Tide and the over.
Tide in the under, by the way.
All right. CJ, how about you, Shirley?
I'm going to go Bulldogs.
All right.
Just to buck the trend.
Okay, and we'll get Troy D and Chandler's pick in hour 3. We'll come back, wrap up hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live after this.
There's no better time to drive away with a quality pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer. We specialize in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust our team for your off-road experience. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork, or online at greenvilleautoworld.net.
Your power's out. There's a water leak. What do? For these and other utility-related emergencies, you need service, and you want it fast. There are 2 things you can do to get the quickest response if you're a GUC customer. First, you can call the hotline at 1-855-767-2482 and report any utility-related emergency. That number is also on GUC.com. Or second, you can give GUC your phone number. The hotline process is quickest when their account records have your current phone number. Service you can count on. Greenville Utilities.
Be sure to check out David Price Construction for all of your commercial or custom residential renovation and building needs. Run by ECU alumni, David Price Construction specializes in commercial projects, maintenance on facilities, and large-scale residential renovations and additions. Proud to be voted the Remodeler of the Year by the Home Builders Association of Raleigh-Wake County in 2018 and Best Business Commercial Remodel Project winner for 2020. David Price Construction, the proud ECU Home Services partner.
The best place for delicious food and great prices is Familia. Familia has something for everyone, like New York-style pizza, lasagna, chicken, veal, or eggplant parmesan, homemade meatballs, plus a variety of seafood selections and favorites, like the steak burger and southern pork chop. If you need food to go, Familia's drive-thru window is open and ready for all takeout orders. Familia, Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College, and FamiliaNC.com.
In studio with Dr. Shondell Jones from Kinetic Physical Therapy and Wellness. What's new, Dr. Jones?
Yes, we just added 6,000 more square feet of gym space where we're now able to offer our athletic movement programs. They're age-specific programs that help you develop speed, power, agility, and strength to give you that athletic edge. So come by and see us at Kinetic Physical Therapy and Wellness on Arlington Boulevard or check us out online at kptonline.com. That's kptonline.com.
Did you know time spent outdoors can help improve your children's health and bring balance to their life? The Outdoor Heritage Advisory Council invites you to join the Patch program. This program is for any child under the age of 16 and includes activities like fishing, hunting, and hiking. These are just one of the many ways you can earn the exclusive patches from the Outdoor Heritage Council. For more information on how to sign up and get your adventure started, visit outdoorheritage.nc.gov.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Matt Driscoll. Please join us at A.J. Fletcher Music Hall or live stream on February 17th at 7:30 p.m. when Durward Ensemble will be on the campus of East Carolina University presenting works from our upcoming album, Prophetic Revolutions, and a world premiere by ECU alumna and Miss America 2019, Nia Franklin. If you would like to learn more or support our group, go to our website, durwardmusic.com. We look forward to seeing you Thursday, February 17th.
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
Hi, this is Brian Meador from East Carolina Athletics. You're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
This hour of PRL is brought to you by Tommy's Express Car Wash. Come experience the difference at Tommy's. Now open at the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Red Banks Road. Doesn't your car deserve it? Visit Tommy's Express Car Wash today. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. Greenville Utilities Neighbor to Neighbor program provides help for those who need temporary assistance with their utility costs, and you can make a difference. Your tax-deductible donation can be added to your GUC bill each month, or you can make a one-time donation, and GUC matches all donations up to $20,000 each year. Consider helping a neighbor with GUC's Neighbor to Neighbor program. Now let's head back into PRL. Here is Clip Brock.
All right, that was really cool to catch up with Brock Anderson. Shout out to the big dog for hooking that up. As AEW will be going to Raleigh coming up on Wednesday night Dynamite on TNT.
Yeah,
Troy D alongside.
What a cool guy, nice guy, and I got to. I don't know how long has AEW been around, Glenn? Was
About
it like
3 years? 2 years?
2 years, maybe 1 year. Well, I remember coming across it by accident when they had just started broadcasting.
Have you ever watched the show Not on Accident?
No, like this
You're
is
a
like
big accident
This
guy.
is the legit story here, though, Clip. I know I say that a lot. This is legit, though. I remember mentioning this to you guys because it wasn't well known. They had just started broadcasting on maybe TBS, was it?
TNT.
TNT. That's what it was.
Station.
TNT. And what got me, and I remember telling Jeff Charles about it the next day, who had not even heard about it. I said, man, I got to tell you, I got hooked on something the other night. I'm just flipping channels because Tony Schiavone was doing the broadcast from old school day, like my days, back in the 80s and 90s.
Old WCW days.
So you had Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross, and that's what hooked me. And then they had all the old classic guys up there. AEW built their brand on the legacy guys. Now I know they're developing a lot of new guys, but those first shows,
sure,
they were all like kind of the guys you remember.
And even now, there's still a lot of Arn and Tully, and like I said, Sting's up there as a major person.
Now I've been sidetracked. I haven't seen it lately, but is Tony Schiavone still a part of it?
Yeah, it's Schiavone and JR.
He's their main guys.
Are still the
voice.
voice.
I think to me that's as much of the show,
hook.
Yeah, as the wrestler. So I really thought that was a great move by the Khan guy.
Tony Khan.
Yeah, that started this to get those guys involved.
They may not can run a professional football organization.
No, but they do a hell of a job of wrestling.
They can do wrestling.
Well,
okay.
look at Vince. Vince does wrestling. He can't do football either. He's
It's
trying to
Hey,
XFL.
you got a point there, brother.
Let's keep these wrestling guys out of football. Stick to what they know.
Right.
So we mentioned that Brock Anderson will have a match coming up in South Carolina against Lodi. That'll be East Carolina versus East Carolina.
It's an all-pirate matchup.
I said, did you go to school with Lodi?
I did, actually. So I knew Lodi in school, and Lodi became big time really right out of school. So he was with WCW, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
When WCW was blowing up, I mean, it was neck and neck with WWE at the time. I mean, and that's sometimes bigger than WWE.
Yeah, it beat him in the ratings.
Yeah.
For 83 weeks.
Yes, when he was a part of it, that was when it was big time.
He was with Raven.
Yeah, Lodi was big time, and I remember I was telling Glenn,
He was like the original sign guy. Like he came out with signs.
That's
and
right.
such. Yes.
That was his hook.
Yeah.
And I remember telling Glenn, I'm not saying we were besties back in school. I knew of him, and we had a lot of mutual friends. I remember being at parties. In fact, I just was thinking about this driving over. I was at a party at Traybrook where he was at, and we were like, damn, that's Lodi. But this was back. He was back as Lodi. This wasn't before that. This was like, Hootie and the Blowfish coming back, and Hootie's Hootie,
Lodi and the Blowfish.
Lodi was big time, but he was still just a regular dude, and all his friends were still in Greenville.
Do you remember his name?
Brad Kane.
Well done.
There you go. Yeah.
How about this? Do you know why he was named? Why he came up with the name Lodi?
It's idle backwards.
It's Idol backwards, which came about due to his perceived resemblance to rock musician Billy Idol.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
now that I look at him, I can see that.
Well,
with the blonde hair, especially
Yeah.
at the time.
And that's brought back a lot of memories. I'm going to reach out to him and see next week. Let's get him on because he's got such a cool Greenville, East Carolina connection. And now he's training a lot of these guys. He is in incredible shape. You know, he's my age, and he looks like he could go in the ring right now.
Of Pirates that are aged in their late 50s, I would say he's probably in the best shape.
Yeah, and I don't know how late. He's probably.
I think he's like 56.
Is he that? I thought he was.
He's 51.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
going to say
I don't
early 50s. Yeah, you said late 50s, but still great shape nonetheless.
So he will be. It'll be Pirate versus Pirate coming up.
When is that match?
The 22nd of, he said, January, right?
Yes,
in South Carolina,
Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Yeah. So there you go.
CJ and I, before finding that out, had joked about going to that show as a rib almost because it's in Spartanburg, but because of that Rock and Roll Express match.
So is it the whole card like young guys versus old guys?
I am assuming so.
At
It
least
seems
these
to
two
be that
matches.
way. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was awesome to get that in. Let's get a break in so we can get to hour 3 officially. We'll talk Pirate Athletics with Troy D. John Gilbert was on the Brian Bailey Show. We'll play some of his comments and have some reaction to ECU getting bowl expenses paid for by the conference.
I saw.
That was some positive news.
That is good.
John Gilbert talked a little bit about the practice facility, also the deal with Playfly Sports. So we'll have all that coming up, and we'll talk NFL Black Monday. It affected Troy D's team in a positive way, if you're a Bears fan.
One of the greatest Black Mondays ever.
I thought, so the playoffs start Saturday. The way Troy was acting earlier, I thought the Bears were in.
This is like a playoff win for us.
Like,
this was the best win we got all season, Cliff.
Just fired up today.
Yeah, let us celebrate it.
We'll take a timeout, come back a lot to get to an hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. Back with you after this.
Hey dads, it's back. Plan to join us for our 6th annual Daddy-Daughter Dance Friday, February 11th at Rock Springs. This event will be a fun night of games, music, photo keepsakes, raffle tickets, and of course, dancing. Best of all, 100% of the proceeds will go to Daughters for Dads, which supports local families affected by cancer. Sponsorship opportunities are also available. Purchase your tickets today by going to eventbrite.com and search for Daughters for Dads. We will see you Friday, February 11th at Rock Springs.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Holt Nailers for my friends at Arc Point Labs. Just as I trust my teammates, you can trust Arc Point Labs to give you quick and accurate results for all your laboratory testing needs. If you are in need of COVID testing for your return to school, work, or for travel, Arc Point Labs is offering same-day PCR and antigen testing with little to no wait time. Please visit any of the 6 Eastern North Carolina Arc Point Labs locations or make an appointment now at onehourcovidresults.com. Go Pirates!
Hey Pirate Nation, Lindsey Gray here with Carolina Caliber. In 1960, my granddaddy started his firearm business right here in Eastern NC. Still family owned and operated, we have the area's largest selection for outdoor shooting sports and accessories and are one of the nation's top firearm dealers. At Carolina Caliber, we have everything you need from hunting, home defense, and personal protection, including a wide variety for ladies and youth. We buy, sell, and trade. It's a time-honored tradition. Visit us at Carolina Caliber on Fire Tower Road in Winterville.
Pirate fans, get ready for a winning season and team up with Quality Equipment, your local John Deere dealer and proud sponsor of the ECU Pirates. When you do business with us, you'll get things done right. We're proud to offer a large selection of new and used John Deere equipment, a fully stocked parts department, and a highly trained staff who is here to support you throughout the life of your equipment. So get quality done right before every ECU game day and visit QualityEquip.com.
This is Mark Washington with Max Sports Performance at Max Fitness. Our facility has reopened and is following all safety protocols. The best thing you can do to strengthen your immune system is, of course, to work out and exercise on a regular basis. I can assist you as your performance coach. You can also enjoy the benefits of a private facility. Avoid the crowds and work out at Max Fitness. Now is the time to get healthy. Max Fitness, just off Highway 43 in the old Ace Hardware Building behind Speedway in Greenville. Call me, Mark Washington, 902-4877.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. it's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
In a world of fake profiles, fake tans, and fake flavors, naturally flavored Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer strives for realness. It's USDA certified organic, with no sugar or carbs, and only 80 calories. So the only thing touching your taste buds is organic, refreshing, and delicious. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri, 63118.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 for the Golf Shop Radio Show. Hosts Mark Greenhelds and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're gonna love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Carolina Caliber has the area's largest selection for outdoor shooting sports and accessories and is one of the top firearm dealers anywhere. They have everything you need for hunting, home defense, and personal protection, including a wide variety for ladies and youth. Carolina Caliber will buy, sell, and trade. Carolina Caliber, locally owned and operated since 1960 on Fire Tower Road in Winterville. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
Alrighty, back with you here on Pirate Radio Live. Stay tuned. We'll make you a winner later on this hour. Open up the booty bag on today's program. Great edition of the Brian Bailey Show earlier today at noon. If you missed it, no problem. You can check it out 6 o'clock here on these airwaves or listen to it right now. Go to YouTube, Pirate Radio TV, subscribe, and you can hear it whenever you'd like to. So that's coming up. Wanted to hit a few cuts from that Troy D. And let's start with John Gilbert had some good news regarding some bowl money and trying to recoup some of that money after they went there and the game was not played. And he spoke about that. This is cut one. We'll have this in a moment. This is from John Gilbert earlier today as he was on the Brian Bailey Show right here on Pirate Radio. My stalling is coming to a close, but luckily we're about to have the clip for you in mere moments.
The finger up went to the thumb up. So good.
Okay.
I saw the finger switch to the thumb, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, it can go one of two ways. It can go thumb,
and it was the index
or
finger.
The other way.
It was the index finger.
Sorry, I forgot to load the cuts before the show started, so I didn't have them ready. And when he called for them, I was like, uh-oh.
I'm out of words. Let's hear John Gilbert talking about some good news today.
Well, we actually got great news from the conference office late last week that in the year-end distribution that the conference office makes, that we are going to get our actual bowl expenses covered.
Good.
So that came late last week. We notified up until even this morning, talking to people who have donated money to cover those funds. Those individuals are going to move it to an excellence fund, and then what we're going to do, all the ticket revenue that we received where individuals donated it to the Pirate Club, we're going to give those individuals a refund. So we're going to send it out in a From the Helm. It should be going out any minute now.
Okay.
But was notified by the conference that they'll do actuals, so we're working on getting our actual expenses. We'll submit that by February 1, and then as part of the regular conference distribution, our actual expenses we'll get in the end of May.
That's got to make you feel a lot better, doesn't it?
It does. Now, the way the conference is working, they're not going to get a disbursement from the Military Bowl, but they are. There were 3 schools in the American that had to deal with this, us, Memphis, and SMU. And so we're all working through the same scenario.
All right, that's John Gilbert earlier today on the Brian Bailey Show.
Yeah, great news for ECU to get those expenses paid back, because it does get expensive being up there a week before the bowl game, between meals, transportation, hotel, and all the other expenses you have going on. And I think the only other right thing to do is to also refund my expenses that were up there, Clip. So then we'll go ahead and make everything whole, and we'll be good to go.
Well, we've had this discussion. You're not on the team, Troy. You're not on the team. I tell you what,
I still have expenses.
From a karma perspective, I think if you got us CDs, it would go a long way as maybe you getting your money back. We're all out of something.
Say CDs Grill, because people hear CDs, and someone asked me, why does Clip want old CDs from the 90s? They don't know what you got to say.
I love that era of music.
You got to, if you're talking about CDs Grill, say CDs Grill. If you're talking about music, say CDs.
I want CDs Grill.
Okay. No, I want that old CD in your office.
I'm sure you got some CDs.
Oh, I've got a ton of them.
And cassette tapes.
Oh, yeah. And Tommy Hilfiger shirts.
Tommy Hill. All right. John Gilbert also talked about the indoor practice facility. Cut 2.
Johnny writes in and says, we got to start that indoor practice facility, get it started, break ground ASAP. The deal with that is, as you said, the more checks that come in, the sooner we can get that thing started, right?
Well, we are. I've talked to a few individuals about the indoor practice facility. It will be a part of this campaign, but obviously we're going to need to, fundraise and generate some, donor support to help fund it. So if it's 16 to 20 million to build, we're going to have 16 to 20 million in the bank before we break ground on it.
All right, Troy D. I guess the good news is this is sounding more like a reality than just talk.
Well, I think it's a reality if they can fundraise it. Yeah. So I think the days of financing these things, at least right now, are kind of over. That it's not going to be financed like a lot of these other projects have been. And if they can raise $16 million, which I don't know, I kind of think that's doable. You hit the right people up and go about it the right way. I think it's possible. I think they could do it. And look, there's a few people out there that if they want to have that type of, they could write the check if they want. No, just a few people I know. That doesn't mean they will. That doesn't mean it always works like that. But could they find more than a few people to all chip in some major amounts and get this thing done? I think yes. I think it's very possible.
That is,
and you won't know until you go ahead and try and ask.
Right.
So you got to start the fundraising at some point. Let's go ahead and start it. Show what the plan is. Here's what we want to do. And then have a goal. If it's $16 million, go fundraise that. And then once that's in the bank, build it.
All right. Also, John Gilbert talked about the new deal upcoming with Playfly Sports and what all that entails.
All right, you've got a new deal with Playfly Sports. Talk about that a little bit and what some of the advantages you're looking for with that.
Well, we've had a long-standing partnership with IMG Learfield. They've been a great partner for us. We, as part of the IMG Learfield merger,
right?
And don't hold me to this date, but I'm ballparking was back in 2017. As part of that merger, the Department of Justice gave schools like us a look-in period. So once you were so far along in your contract with them, you could kind of go to the market and have a look-in. And so we did that and ultimately selected Playfly. They've got a lot of partners already. Florida, LSU, locally, Auburn, locally, they have Old Dominion as well. And so really good company, from a funding model, they were very aggressive with us. And so that partnership will start sometime this summer with Playfly. So we'll be with Learfield, IMG Learfield, until that time.
All right, Playfly.
Yeah, I think for the average fan, it's not that big. It's kind of like what I would refer to as when they were with Nike a long time, went to Adidas. They were with Coke. They went to Pepsi. The IMG, the Playfly. I mean, the big corporations, they change hands and sponsorship type of deals all the time. And I think that if they can get a new scoreboard out of it and do some things like that, great.
Yeah.
But
most of the changes won't be noticeable.
I think the average fans, it's not an issue for. That's more inside baseball stuff.
Right. A lot more from John Gilbert you can check out at 6 o'clock if you missed it earlier, or whenever you'd like at Pirate Radio TV on YouTube, and hear that entire interview from earlier today. Troy D, what's going on in ECU athletics? Real quick, we'll hit on basketball. So the Pirates win a thriller Wednesday night in Minges. Tristan Newton hitting a clutch shot, sending it in overtime, taking over in overtime. They were on the flip side of that on Saturday. Damian Dunn of Temple hits a absolute dagger right at the buzzer.
I know.
And Temple wins it by 3. So
Pirates had them on the ropes.
2 games.
That would have been a huge win on the road.
Huge. 2 games in conference play. 2 games go right down to the end of regulation.
Yeah. Although very competitive, this basketball team in conference play.
You just hope they can do that night in, night out, have a chance to win, and certainly had a chance to win that game on Saturday.
What was the line on that game Saturday? Just curious.
Temple by 4.5.
Okay.
Pirates got the cover.
They've been pretty close on these.
Yeah.
Now
they got Cincinnati coming up Wednesday, and they'll be home. Hopefully a good crowd for Memphis coming up Saturday at 4 o'clock.
This will be the first one since the students have been back, so that'll help out a lot. I know that it was an anemic crowd the last home game, but also school was out, so that was a factor too.
Expecting a much better crowd. Football news, Troy.
I should call Tony Collins and see if he can get me courtside.
He knows the guy. We'll talk about that Thursday.
He knows my guy.
Don't y'all share a guy?
No, he's my guy.
Okay. All right. I'll let y'all just discuss this. There's a rift in the relationship that we're really...
There's no rift.
I'm trying to start a rift.
Yeah.
Is it riff or rift?
Rift. R-I-F-T.
Okay. Thought so.
Yeah. I saw Tony, though, sitting ice side at the Hurricanes game.
Yeah.
Supporting a picture.
I was going to say, not supporting the Hurricanes.
No, he was supporting the Panthers?
Florida Panthers.
You know why? Because his guy he went with is a Panthers guy.
I was like, Tony finally goes to a Hurricanes game. He's not even pulling for the Hurricanes.
He didn't even know the Florida Panthers was a thing.
No.
He's probably going, who's our quarterback?
Who's our goalie? I didn't see that picture. Was the
Tony knows about as much about ice hockey as he does about snow skiing. He just likes to go and drink beer.
Well, how are his seats?
Well, from the picture, they looked very night, like
right there at the
on
glass.
the glass. Now I don't know if that's where he sat or they just
they could have walked down there and took the picture.
It could have been. It could have been one of those deals. But
if he has a guy,
I bet they were on glass seats. Yeah,
we'll get a full update from him Thursday.
Yeah,
on his trip to PNC Arena. So that'll be good. Hey, we need to get Glenn and CJ to take Tony to PNC Wednesday night for wrestling. Is Tony a wrestling guy?
Well, for free he would be.
This could be
if you take him up there and you take if he gets tickets for free and you take him, he'll go to anything. I've realized
he needs to add to his list of guys.
New content idea. Tony does, and Tony does skiing.
Yeah.
Tony does hockey. Tony does wrestling.
Yeah.
Just all these things Tony does.
Yeah.
We don't give him anything. He just does it for free. He goes along.
Yeah. As long as you're willing to get him there, provide his access, and feed him.
And he's great company, right?
Yeah. Fun guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then we can have like a 60 minutes with all of his guys. I was one of Tony's guys back in the day. I would take him to an ECU basketball game. And then one guy goes, well, I would take him to a hockey game.
I take him to football games.
Everybody's got a little piece of Tony.
Yeah. But I've got, so I take him to he sits with me sometimes on the front row up there. He likes good seats. That's the thing about Tony.
I got to experience that this past year.
We got you up in club level.
Yeah. And front row.
Hey, not old club level, but new club level, my friend.
Hey, look.
The best for Chandler.
Hey, look, I've got a guy.
Were you in a loge box?
Well, I was up with everybody.
Where they are, yeah.
It's the big box.
Yeah.
Big box?
The club level.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all the loge.
I just wanted to say loge.
Yeah.
It's fun to say. You one of those loge box guys?
Loge guy.
Troy D, for people in the club level next year, they won't be seeing Tyler Snead or Jaquan McMillan.
No, our whole team's going pro.
Yeah.
Feels like. I've never seen so many guys commit this early going pro for ECU football. I've seen guys graduate and go pro, but leave this early to go pro. You have one or two here and there, but all at the same time.
Yeah.
Well,
in Tyler's case, he's been around here 4 years.
Yeah.
Technically, he did leave early because he was able. He had a choice to come back
next
year for the Pirates.
God, I wish those guys could have come back though. I would have loved to see him one more year.
Yeah, we all want him back, but for Tyler's case,
I'm sure Mike Houston feels the same way.
Yeah, and hopefully we talk about it with Cliff Godwin. He gets on us when we're like, man, how are you going to replace so and so? And he's like,
I know.
we recruit better players.
Yeah.
So for Mike Houston, that's his job now. Bring in even better guys.
And they might have some guys that we're not aware of in the shadows right now on the bench.
Well, I think Malik Fleming's the guy that can step in for the Pirates next year and kind of fill that void that Jaquan McMillan will be leaving for the Pirates.
And then, who's going to fill Malik Fleming's void on the other side?
You recruit.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if you had an answer for that one, too.
Nah.
All right. We got one of them figured out. So, that was some big news over the weekend. Jaquan McMillan announced he would be going pro, just like Tyler Snead announced the previous day. We have gone 2 days without an announcement. Hopefully that trend continues.
Yeah, and I'd rather, if the guys were going to leave, I'd rather see them leave to try and go to the NFL than like hit the transfer portal to another school. So you can't fault them for trying to better themselves and go get paid. I don't fault them at all, and we wish those guys the best. I reached out to Tyler, and we'll miss him here. One of our first players we ever signed to an NIL deal. So,
that's right.
We'll stay in contact with them, and I hope they make it. It gives us more people to follow in the NFL with a local interest.
Yeah, I mean, last night you had Zay and Linville on Sunday Night Football in the game of the year, trying to get to the playoffs.
A lot of people watch NFL now for who are their fantasy players. I watch for the Pirate players. I kind of use them as my fantasy players.
When I was younger, I used to think it was so cool.
You're not watching a lot of football then.
Well, when I can.
Like one game a week. We need to stock more guys in the
that's
NFL.
What we're starting this year.
I was like you though, Troy. Like I wouldn't really pay attention to any other, teams in the NFL except for teams that had ECU Pirates on it. And as a kid, I used to think it was so cool for the players to get up there, especially on Sunday night, to say, Linville Joseph, East Carolina.
Yeah.
And last night we were able to hear two people say that, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We've been on a bit of a drought with that, though, so we need to start restocking it.
The East Carolina University.
Not Eastern, as the
That's what I'd say.
announcer
The
said.
East.
He kept saying that over and over again.
How do these guys that work for ESPN not know
This was Mark Jackson, by the way.
Not know the damn name of the school? There are only two teams playing. They prep. They're at least supposed to prep for a day or two for the game. You don't know the name of the damn school you're doing the broadcast for the school. It's not like you're doing 50 highlights. Once again, I'll give the person a pass if they were doing highlights or reporting scores and they work for NPR. They're not a sports organization. They don't know. This guy works for ESPN.
Well, he's like Cy Seymour.
So what? Cy knows the team that we're playing.
Right.
And he'd probably tell you they're a damn good team.
They're a great team.
In a good league.
And I know the name of the team. But yeah, this guy.
It just blows my mind that these guys can do a broadcast and not know the name of the school.
Well, he said everything. He said East Carolina, Eastern Carolina, and ECU, and just sprinkled them all in throughout the entire game.
It was a potpourri of poop.
So they got a lot of people talking on Saturday.
That's crazy.
All right, let's get a
hot button issue for
me. No doubt. Let's get a break in. We'll
Triggers
come back.
me.
We'll talk a little Black Monday in the NFL.
Yes.
There were some surprises. One surprise coach that got fired. There was a couple of surprises that didn't get fired.
Yes.
And Troy is happy about one of the firings.
Yes.
Lucky.
2 firings we got.
2 for the price of one.
One wasn't going to be good enough.
Everything must go.
I told you all along, if they're going to do one, they got to do 2. And give them credit, they did 2. Clean house.
And now
Bear down.
The Bears are going to call in some 85-year-olds to help make their next pick. We'll talk about that and more when we return after this.
Grow Rug 26 is coming to Greenville March 25th through the 27th. This is DJ Fossil from F3 ENC, inviting all men to sign up now for this leadership training event. The Grow Rug training events are designed to help men become high-impact men by reinforcing the F3 mission of invigoration of male community leadership. To register or to learn more, please visit f3enc.com. That's f3enc.com. Remember, you don't have to be great to get started, but you've got to get started if you want to be great.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-style restaurant and bourbon bar. Join us at the Rick House for mouth-watering steaks and made-from-scratch pastas. Check out the 16-ounce cowboy steak and our seafood delight pasta. The Rick House is open for lunch daily from 11 to 2, Monday through Friday. Take a break from your workday with lunch at the Rick House. Join us for our legendary brunch on Sundays from 10 to 2. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, get an all-new 2022 Buick Encore GX. Save up to $1,250 off or 1.9% for 72 months. As always, Brown & Wood is the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
0% alcohol, 0 grams of sugar, full Budweiser flavor. For all the moments you want a beer and need to stay on your game. Budweiser Zero. 0 alcohol, 0 compromise.
I can't think of anyone who doesn't love a clean car, but how often do you actually go to the car wash? Does it take too long, or maybe it's just not a very nice place? Tommy's Express changes everything. Our wash is bright, inviting, clean, and fast.
I love the flat conveyor belt. So easy to pull onto, much smoother ride, and safer for my car.
And when you join Tommy Club, you can wash as often as you like for one low monthly price.
I save money and time.
We're Tommy's Express.
At the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Red Banks Road, Greenville.
What's the big deal?
Where can you get pizza, bread twists, specialty chicken, and more for just $5.99 each?
Is it at Domino's?
He hands off hand toss pizza and a marble cookie brownie. He's going! There's a lot of variety on the radio and at Domino's too, where you can
mix and match 2 or more. $5.99 each at Domino's.
2-item minimum. Pan pizza, bone-in wings, and bread bowls will be extra. Ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
Hey, this is Troy D, proud ECU grad from the class of 94. And if you know me, you know I love the 90s here at ECU. It was some of our glory days, including bowl games, the Peach Bowl, and even a March Madness appearance. Relive those days with my friends from Tailgate Classics. Tailgate Classics is a cool retro store with all types of merchandise, including the 90s ECU vintage tees and hats. Check out Tailgate Classics in person, 304 Evans Street, or online at shoptailgateclassics.com. Tailgate Classics, bringing back the throwbacks.
Chico's Mexican Restaurant is where the fiesta never ends. Grab your amigos and head to Chico's every Wednesday for shrimp tacos for only $9.99. Plus Wednesdays means all Mexican imports for only $2.75. Thursdays, enjoy your favorite beef, chicken, or vegetable fajitas for only $9.99. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's in downtown Greenville, and now available through DoorDash, featuring a half gallon of the famous margarita mix to go for only $9.99. Chico's, where the fiesta never ends.
This is assistant football coach Drew Dudzik, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center of Greenville's new extended care clinic is now open Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. so you can avoid the emergency department for any urgent orthopedics care. For more information, call 757-2663 or visit orthoeast.com. Orthopedics East, providing services to Eastern North Carolina and the Pirate Nation for more than 35 years. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip Brock.
Alrighty, back with you here, Pirate Radio Live, Hour 3 on a Monday. Coming up on Tuesday's show, Ventavious Cooper will join us for the first time in a long time, former ECU running back. We'll catch up with him, talk about his playing days at ECU. Also planning to hook up maybe tomorrow, some point this week, with Tyler Sneed and talk about his decision to take his talents to the next level and leave East Carolina.
And I'll be honest, man, I didn't see that one coming. You know, that one kind of caught me by surprise right there. I figured he was definitely going to be back for next year and then see what could happen. But he must have saw something talking to people, his advisors, I'm sure, where maybe he felt the opportunity is better now. I'll be curious to hear from him in his own words when he come on.
I just don't think he can raise the stock anymore. So if he's going to go, he might as well go. Because unless he hits like a growth spurt next year that we're not anticipating.
Well, he's kind of like our Wes Welker. You know, we were talking... Edelman, you know, we were comparing all the guys that are smaller guys that have been great in the NFL.
Little white receivers.
Yeah, we were talking about it at lunch today. they've paved the way for guys like Tyler Snead.
It's funny. I was on Friday on Pirate Radio Live. I talked about every time we see a receiver like Tyler Snead, and I listed off those names. Those are the guys we compare him to.
Yeah,
just little white dudes running around in the slot.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can be the
works.
next one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick. Backwards binoculars meme.
Yeah,
that we always see on Twitter.
Maybe he can get a break with the Patriots.
Could
they
be.
seem to do well with those guys.
Could be. All right. Speaking of the NFL, the playoffs are set, and the only team, as far as a fan goes, represented. And boy, did CJ get lucky last night. It's Pittsburgh Steelers. How about that, Troy?
If they miss a field goal or Chargers don't call timeout, that may be too long to make it. They could potentially they could have finished that game in a tie.
I can't remember a time where it would have benefited both teams just to tie.
Yeah.
And the fan base rooting most for a team to win was not even involved in that game.
Correct.
It was Steelers fans.
Yes.
Who needed either. It didn't matter. One of them to win.
Well, you got to feel it only extends their season by one game. Because they've got to go to Kansas City now.
Right.
And it's going to be tough sledding there. But it does give
you
Big Ben one more game, kind of his swan song, so to speak.
Yeah.
And you never know. Crazy stuff happens in the NFL.
But last night, it went right down to the end of overtime, and the Raiders are able to sneak in. Good for Zay Jones, had a big catch on that overtime drive. He is playing the best football of his professional career, and they'll have a fun one coming up Saturday against the Bengals.
I saw online someone posted, luckily for Big Ben, the Chargers were dropped.
Let's get a rim shot on that.
The Chargers were dropped. So he gets to survive.
Was that supposed to be funny?
Saw Molly at lunch today.
How's he doing?
He's not funny.
He's not funny?
No, he's Mr. Serious all the time.
Did you have a take and he immediately took the other side of it?
No, I didn't have any strong takes at lunch today.
Okay.
Just listen to him talk most of the time.
My tea's a little sweet. No, that tea ain't sweet, son.
Yeah.
Mully, you haven't even tasted it.
Said that.
I can look at it and tell.
Of course you said that. That might be the stupidest thing you have ever said. Son.
That's good, Chandler.
That's getting now. That is funny. Better? That's getting better. Your Molly's getting better and better. Pretty soon, all you got to do is shave your head next, and you'll be perfect. You'll be the Frank Caliendo of Mully's.
Molly, don't you think it's kind of cold outside today?
No. Son, really? That might be the stupidest thing you've ever said.
I don't care about the weather. I can't control the weather. I don't
thought it was pretty
comfortable.
You know me, I hate being cold. I thought today was okay. I think tomorrow's going to be really cold. We're sitting at Clean Eats. He's like, man, it's so hot in here. So I'm like, man, I'm really comfortable. He had to leave Clean Eats to go. I was like, well, take your. Ellerbe was like, well, take your sweatshirt off.
I gotta go.
I got an undershirt on. It's not made to be seen. It's an undershirt. So he had to leave, go change shirts in his car. Came back just a long sleeve shirt, took his sweatshirt off, and then could finish his lunch.
All right, ready
I was like, it wasn't that hot. I was very heat sensitive. He is.
He is a smart guy though to have the change of clothes in the truck.
He did have a change of clothes ready.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
No, it's not smart. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm trying to give you a compliment, Molly.
I don't care. It's not smart.
Okay.
That might be the dumbest thing you've ever said.
Can you please? When are you going to start doing Molly to Molly?
I know. God, I hope he's not listening.
I mean, get him on the show,
he
son.
is listening. We got to get him in studio so Molly can talk.
Well, it's kind of like that time where we had faux Rick Smith and real Rick Smith. That was radio gold right there. We can have real Molly and faux Molly.
Yeah.
He's not going to like it.
No, of
course not.
You sound so stupid right now.
That's the best impersonation you have?
You know what we got to do? We got to say, Molly, we were going to have Molly talk to fake Molly, but we decided that would be a dumb, stupid idea.
No, I think it would be a great idea.
We got to mind trick him.
Yeah.
Yep. You have broke the code, Clip.
All right.
You got to figure out the matrix with him. You got to go opposite. You want to zig, you got to sag.
All right.
Oh, God, that's funny.
Speaking of dumb, Troy, your Bears have looked dumb over the years.
They've made some bad decisions.
But they got less dumb today.
They did the right thing today. And, the head coach, look, Matt Nagy, it seems like a great guy, by all accounts, super person, but just makes terrible football decisions and coaching decisions and play calls. And the game yesterday with the Vikings was a microcosm of his whole Bear career, the season, everything. They were like up big at half. I think it was like 14. It should have been 14. No, that was 14-3, and had the game in hand. And then, of course, they completely melt down the second half and get blown out. That was the story of the Bears this year. So I said all along, it doesn't do you any good to fire the coach if you're going to let the GM that's made all the dumbest decisions, way more than the head coach, stay. Ryan Pace. This is the guy that traded up for Mitch Trubisky. Yeah. I remember saying that was a fireable offense. If Trubisky doesn't work out, that guy should be fired immediately.
It took a couple of years, but
then he's made terrible. Look, even the dumb deal with Glennon where they paid him like close to $50 million. And then they bring in Andy Dalton as the guy. They anoint him as the guy.
QB1.
And then they go and draft Justin Fields after anointing him the guy. It's just one bad decision.
Turns out Nick Foles was the guy.
Exactly. It's just unbelievable how many bad decisions. I heard, I've been listening to a lot of Chicago sports radio today, streaming it, and there was a montage. It was a station like ours up there. And they did a montage of all for his whole career, Pace, being introduced. And his first hire was John Fox. Remember that? That was a disaster. And they're like, people in the NFL, GMs don't get to make this many mistakes. Like, you don't get this many strikes and get to keep your job. So they fired him today, which was the right move. At the same time, they fired the head coach. The big question is, and our biggest concern is, where do they go from here? Because that's only one part of the problem. We've all seen here in East Carolina before, you can fire somebody, but if you don't have a plan of who you want to bring on next, it could get worse. So, they don't need to go hire, Scotty Montgomery, for example, when they fired Ruff. They brought someone in that just nosedived the program. That's what I'm afraid of with the Bears. These people making the decisions will now make a hire that could be even worse.
Well, why wouldn't you want Scotty Montgomery? He coaches the leading rusher in the NFL.
He is in the league.
And boy, they had a Scotty Moe-like collapse yesterday. We're talking about the Colts, of course. So the Bears, I saw the interview, the press conference with McClaskey.
Yes, George McClaskey, who is like 70, in his 70s. So let me just say that. And he is the son of Virginia McClaskey, who is 99 years old, who is officially listed as the team owner, although there's a group, but she has a controlling interest with the McClaskey family. So he's the young buck. And probably he was born into it. And so I believe, granddad was George Halas. So the legendary founder of the Bears.
One of like the founding fathers of football.
Correct.
Almost.
He is kind of like a Vince Lombardi type, So George was, I believe, a coach and then the owner. And I mean, he's a great history with the Bears and the Halas family. So the McClaskeys now have been in control since the 80s, since the late 80s, I believe. And her son has really never done anything other than work in the ticket office. So, and he admitted today, I was listening to the same press conference clip, and he said, look, I don't know much about football. He said this in the press conference.
Good. Because when I looked at him, he looked like a guy that didn't know anything about football.
He said, I'm just a fan. I don't know much about football. Then I'm like, quit making football decisions then.
Daniel Snyder.
Yes. He admitted he doesn't know anything about football and that he is just a fan.
Which is okay if you're an owner, as long as you put in good people.
Correct. But he meddles and he makes decisions.
Right, right. If you stay out of it, that's fine.
He doesn't. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So now they're bringing in Bill Polian.
Who's also old.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would have almost been better off if they went to like Tony Dungy or somebody like that. Maybe, I don't know, but
I like that. What's the elderly woman, McCaskill? What's her name?
Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia's like, we're going to bring in a young man to help us out. Bill Polian.
Guys, let me get this straight now. You keep saying McClaskey.
Yeah.
Is it? I'm seeing McCaskey. There's no L in the name.
It might be a McCaskey. I don't know.
I say McClaskey.
Okay.
McClaskey, I don't know. You say tomato, I say tomato.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's just
McCaskey's. I always put an L in it. But
I think I did too. But.
Yeah,
I just was confused. I just wanted to get that straight.
Yeah.
I didn't know if like Wikipedia was wrong.
No,
because it can be wrong.
The clowns that own the Bears,
right?
And they brought in Polian,
the clowns,
Bill Polian today to help him out.
They had to help him up the stairs.
So here, look, it's a storied franchise. It's a hell of a job if they let them do their job. I would love to see Jim Harbaugh come home.
Hardballs?
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh?
Yeah.
I'm a Harbaugh?
I am a Harbaugh guy.
Well, hey, guess what?
I don't know.
Former quarterback of the Bears.
Well,
this is his dream job. Bring him home.
Is he not at his dream job?
No, this is his, I think, dream NFL job.
You think?
He's said it before. His words, not mine.
His dream NFL job.
It would be the Bears.
Well, you will not have to compete against the Miami Dolphins.
How about
you will not have to compete against the Dolphins.
Bring Fangio home as the defensive coordinator. He got fired from the Broncos. He was the Bears, one of the greatest defensive coordinators ever for the Bears.
I honestly thought about you when I saw Stephen Ross's comments. If Troy was a Bears owner, you would not take the coach away from ECU because you love them so much to make your team better. Which I think is hilarious that Stephen Ross would say, I'm not taking Jim Harbaugh away from Michigan. I don't want to be the guy that does that. So his first priority is not making his team the best it could be. It's that his college football team wins games. His alma mater. That is insane to me.
Well, and Jim has said he's entertaining offers. I think he was interested. I think he's interested in the Bears deal. He wants to talk to the Bears. I think he wants to talk to the Raiders. That's a possibility too. I think he feels like he's taking kind of Michigan as far as he could take them. And he did have a great season this year. It didn't end on a good note. But this guy may want to get back in the NFL, and look, he had success in the NFL.
Publicly and said it.
He has a winning record.
He went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, compared to where we've been, I'd take him in a heartbeat.
Oh, of course, no doubt.
There's some other Leslie Frazier is a former Bear, played on the '85 team. I think he's the defensive coordinator for the Bills right now. I believe he's a candidate they're going to talk to. And from everyone, all the stuff I read could be a great fit too, potentially.
Lovie Smith.
I always liked Lovie. I think he got a raw deal. I think he should have had another year. And look, it's all been downhill with exception of that 1 year, 3 years ago, where we went to the Nagy's first year, which was almost like a smokescreen.
Did it go Lovie, Tressman, Nagy?
Believe so.
Yeah.
No, John Fox was in there.
Fox was before. Because Fox took the job in Chicago after he left us. Right? I might be wrong on that.
I think Fox was after Lovie.
All right. It went...
That could be right.
Lovie, Tressman, Fox. Wow. Okay.
Wow, he was after Tressman, too.
Okay. Yeah. And then Nagy. I blocked the whole Fox thing out.
Yeah, Fox did not work out very well. How long was he there? 3 years?
15 to 17.
Yeah.
Tressman was there 2 years.
That was a disaster.
Wow, you guys...
they've had terrible hires.
The Bears have been...
honestly,
really bad.
It has been downhill since Lovie left.
Yeah, that was the high mark. Dick Duran, Dave Wannstedt, and then Ditka was before that. This is not good to look at.
I know.
I can relate.
The head coaching lineage is a lot like the quarterback lineage.
Yeah,
it's
same with us. Same
bad
with Washington.
deal after another.
Yep.
It
goes hand in hand.
Yes, if you could get a decent coach and a decent quarterback, you can get stuff done.
And maybe that's why the Cardinals went all radical and got Cliff Kingsbury, and then said we're gonna draft a QB, get our guy.
They when they hired Nagy, I believe they interviewed Bruce Arians, and they I heard that Bruce Arians is too arrogant. They didn't like him because he felt like he was going to control too much. But another great decision by the Bears ownership to pass on Arians because he's done pretty well.
He has won a Super Bowl and will be trying to win another one.
So they've passed on great coaches and they've passed on great quarterbacks.
Wasn't
Sean Watson they passed on? They passed on whatchamacallit.
Did they go Chiefs. After Brady? They went after Brady, didn't they? The Bears? Was there any talk of that when he was a free agent?
Oh, I heard no talk of that.
No? Okay.
Fans. I was talking about it. I heard nothing legit.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, there's your NFL talk. Chandler, Matt Rule's still there.
Yeah.
That's and Brian Flores fired by the Dolphins.
See, I thought he deserved another year.
That's got to be. That's not on the field stuff. That's like It sounds like
That's still ridiculous.
Arians Bears thing where the owner and the coach aren't seeing eye to eye, so we want a different direction.
He was I thought he finished the year pretty strong. The Panthers coach, you could make an argument to fire Matt Rule.
Oh,
an argument? You about made me cuss on this thing. No quack!
I think
you can make an argument about that.
I think a case could be made to relieve him of his duties, as the Bears like to say.
Here's a great point. I don't know if you heard this earlier in the show. Stat to consider, by the way.
Stat to consider.
Out of the 6 head coaches that have been fired since yesterday, Matt Rule is 0-6 against those coaches.
Wow. That is
heck
an
of a
interesting stat.
Yeah.
The stats to consider.
0-6 against all the coaches that have been fired.
Not good. And boy, the morale is super low.
You might have to dig deep. You might have to dig deep, but you can make an argument to fire Matt Rule.
At least you got Cam back.
We don't even know if he'll be back.
Bring him back one more time. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
We'll see.
It's a mess. All right, let's open up the Pirate Radio live line and make somebody a winner right now. Shirley, open up the booty bag.
Booty, 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 booty everywhere. Booty, 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 booty everywhere.
All right, 317-1250. What are we giving away today, Shirley?
How about some pizza? Large 2-topping pizza courtesy of Domino's.
Great pizza night with the College Football Playoff Championship going on. Great night for football and pizza. What caller are we looking for?
I'm going to go with caller 12.
All right.
And when we come back on the other side, I want to run through just to give you an idea of how ticked off I am that Chris Greer is still the general manager of the Dolphins.
Okay.
You haven't asked me my pick yet either for tonight.
I'm going to do it at the end of the show.
Okay, that's fine. Just checking. I have the pick is in.
Okay, good.
The pick is in.
We'll get
caller 12.
My pick is in as well.
All right, good. We'll do that when we return. We're back with you after this.
There's nothing more important than protecting your family. Fire ants can cause painful allergic reactions and even death. Protect your loved ones at home where you should feel the safest. Visit pesttechofgreenville.com to learn of our once-a-year treatment to guarantee you stay fire ant free. Tested and proven effective by your Eastern North Carolina exterminating professionals at Pest Tech of Greenville. Mention the crying baby for an extra 10% off.
Hello, Eastern North Carolina. If you're looking for a great place to work with competitive pay and advancement opportunities, Pitt County Schools is hiring. We employ over 3,000 people, and we're one of the largest employers in Pitt County. Pitt County Schools is currently seeking teachers, bus drivers, school nutrition personnel, facility staff, custodians, clerical staff, and more. We offer advanced leadership opportunities for our educators and competitive pay for our skilled labor force. Come work for a diverse, thriving school system and be an important part of ensuring success for the students of Pitt County who are the future of Eastern North Carolina. To fill out an application, visit our website today at pittschools.org. That's pittschools.org, or go directly to our job postings at bit.ly/PCS employment. That's bit.ly/PCS employment. Pitt County Schools, engaging, empowering, and elevating every student and every staff member every single day.
Hey, this is John Grillo, the Bagel Man. You know I love bagels. I don't settle for frozen bagels. That's why we make our bagels right here in Greenville from scratch every day. If you're coming into Bagel Man, you'll notice that there's some renovation going on. Our menu is bigger and better than ever. Our sandwiches, heroes, subs, salads, wraps, bagel dogs, fresh baked pastries, and our new coffee bar. Soon we're going to be opening for dinner. Don't forget Bagel Man for all your catering needs on Fire Tower Road in Greenville.
This year, U.S. Cellular is making a big deal out of the holidays. You can choose any phone from any brand free. That's right, any phone you see in our store is free. And get unlimited data for our best price of the season. Just $30 a month per line with 4 lines. Feel the locally grown joy from U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Limited time offer. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
Now that life is returning to normal, we have found a lot of good things that came from the pandemic. One of them is not having to go to the wireless store anymore. The Cellular Warehouse team has been in the business of delivering phones to your home and office for 20 years. People found out about our free delivery service and love the ease of getting a new phone, tablet, or hotspot. Call Toby Williams today at 252-799-7051 so you can start experiencing the joy of never going to a wireless store again. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
Although innovative new resources such as digital media and social networks have grown in popularity, smart marketers recognize that printing is a mainstay.
We live in an age of computer hacking, scams, and fly-by-night businesses, so it's reassuring to consumers when they receive printed marketing pieces.
It exemplifies business confidence and conveys a high level of commitment.
It also fosters trust, which leads to engagement and ultimately brand loyalty.
When you're ready to grow your business, come to PIP, where business goes to grow.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 for the Golf Shop Radio Show. Hosts Mark Greenhelves and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're gonna love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
Pirate Radio.
It's going to change. I promise you. As I stand here, it will change. Okay, and when it does, that stadium, it's going to be rocking, and heaven help whoever walks in there to play us.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Congratulations to Josh Lilly of Greenville. Picked up a large 2-topping pizza courtesy of Domino's. Domino's of Greenville has 3 locations to take care of you. Every day, all 3 topping pizzas are only $7.99 each for carry-out only. Order online today at Domino's.com. Now let's head back in to PRL. Here's Clip Rock.
Alrighty, back with you here on Pirate Radio Live. Clip Rock, Troy D. You know, I was thinking about who's a good coach to come in and work with your young Ohio State quarterback and be the next head coach of the Bears, Troy D.
Jim Harbaugh.
The name I kept coming up with was Urban Meyer. Great fit.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything.
There's some great steakhouses in Chicago, too.
Good bars to lean on, maybe.
Oh, man.
Urban.
Well, you know what? He'll make a comeback somewhere.
No doubt.
I'm telling you, he's just got to let the dust settle a little bit.
Oh, there's going to be...
he'll make a comeback.
Millions of people screw up between now and a year and a half, 2 years from now. It'll all be forgotten. He'll be back.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. Shirley.
Heard you talking about hot yoga earlier.
Yeah. Well, no.
I didn't know if you had questions about it.
No, we do not.
Well, you're the guy to ask, right?
You want to come with me next Saturday?
No.
Promises made, promises kept. I said I was going to do something new in the new year.
Yeah.
On only a weekend, I delivered on that clip.
Way to go.
Well, you continue to do it.
We were talking earlier about doing a split. Can you do a split?
At the very end, they had you kind of do a split, and probably only about 50% right now. I could not.
So you got one leg.
I could not go full split.
Okay.
That's probably very difficult. I could do about 80% of the moves. I was amazed I was able to do as much as I could for my first time.
Good. Did you feel like more limber coming out of it?
I did, actually.
Now, I've seen pictures of people hanging upside down.
No, that's aerial yoga. That's a different deal. This was on the ground. No, I'm not going. I was
going to say because I was going to be very impressed. I don't think I could do that.
They do have that now for folks that want that. They're the only folks in Greenville that offer that, but that's not my cup of tea.
This is Purple Blossom.
The Purple Blossom. Yep, right downtown. Tried something new.
Troy D, yoga guy.
Yoga's my new. It could be my new thing. Clip.
Could be Troy's new thing.
Possibly.
Never.
Did you enjoy it?
Never would have thought that, right?
Sincerely.
Oh, it was a lot harder than I thought. Be honest, man. It's a heck of a workout. Really works out your core, and it is not as easy as it like you think it might be. It's very difficult actually. So, but it's really you versus you. You know, it's however far you can take it. So, for my first time, I'll go back.
Were there other dudes there?
There were a couple other guys there. Yeah.
Got to imagine the ratios.
But there were more females than males. Yeah. Which I'm not complaining. I mean, it wasn't a bad thing.
Why would you?
Well, I won't.
Well, all right then.
Yes.
All right. Anything else? Cobra Kai? Are you into Cobra Kai?
Funny you mentioned that. I've been watching that with the boys.
Okay.
We're down to our last episode.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't talk about it.
So we binge watched it this weekend, And then we had one more episode. And it was kind of starting to get a little bit late. It was like at that, because the boys had school today. It was about at that 9 o'clock hour. I'm like, well, we got the last episode I saw was like 47 minutes. So I was like, do y'all want to stand there? Kind of getting tired. So I said, let's watch it when we're fresh.
The people that made that are geniuses because
I got hooked again on it.
It's got the stuff from the 80s.
Yes.
With Daniel San and Johnny. And it's got a new
original
storyline.
cast members.
Yeah, and it's got a new storyline with like high school stuff.
Yeah, so it's so hokey, but yet I'm so all in on it.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like Outer Banks, but for karate. And now I'm like, well, who's going to win the All Valley?
Yeah.
I'm like all bought into this.
Stakes are high.
So now I started, we watched that this weekend. I got one more episode. And then I came across my buddy that I went to high school with is Dexter.
I have not seen the last few of that, but I have seen some of the season.
They have a new season on Showtime, which is I guess only online, right?
I don't know about
is it
that.
on Showtime regular?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay, I watched it on Showtime.
As do I, yeah.
Plus or whatever they call it. I don't know.
Showtime anytime.
Yeah, and it's called Dexter on Ice, or what is it? It has like a name because it's all cold.
Do you take your children to this?
No. This is to...
It's got Big Bird and Goofy and Dexter, and they're skating.
It's like the Dexter's in ice, but it has a name. Like it's called Dexter Next.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with Dexter.
No, what is it though?
New Blood.
That's it, New Blood. But the New Blood is
you were so close.
New Blood is written in ice.
Okay.
New Blood written in ice.
Next time you see New Blood, it'll be in ice.
So he was in the general vicinity of that answer, correct?
Correct.
No.
Yes.
No, I was going back. That was a reference.
He was in Miami. And it was hot. Now he's in New York, and it's freezing cold.
Have you been to the new show Disney New Blood?
Anyway,
Snow White gets murdered.
God!
Now I got hooked on that.
Yeah.
So now I got to see. I'm halfway through that now.
Try Yellow Jackets. I'm trying to get more people to watch.
I've heard about that. I saw the promo.
It's good
for it on Dexter.
Yeah.
Before it, and I was like, that looks pretty good.
See, I was going to watch it, but then I realized I don't have Showtime. It's
you
one
said
of the
you'd had Showtime.
You said it.
I thought I did, but I didn't.
You thought wrong.
I thought I did.
It's an outrage.
I have
You are
HBO
a
Max.
liar.
I didn't have Showtime. I got my HBO and then Showtime mixed up.
I think if you got to choose between HBO and Showtime,
You definitely go HBO.
I'm going Showtime.
Really? Why?
I'm going against the grain because I like Dexter that much.
Well, there are shows on Showtime, but see, I get them from other places, so I don't have to have the app to get it.
Gotcha.
HBO Max has a million options. It's Sopranos. You got all the old HBO shows, and you're going with Dexter over Sopranos, Deadwood, Game of Thrones, all the great shows.
I don't watch any of those shows on HBO.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Troy Deed.
I do love some Cobra Kai.
That's on Netflix, though.
All right,
That doesn't count.
if you had to join a, would it be Cobra Kai? Would it be Madagi? What do they call it?
Miyagi?
Miyagi-Do.
Madagi? What is that?
Miyagi-Do.
Magagi?
Or what's the other one? It's the snake one.
Cobra Kai.
No, then there's the other one that the blonde hair guy
Something
runs.
Fang, Wolf Fang, or Eagle Fang.
Eagle Fang.
Falcon
Eagle Fang. No, I'm going Miyagi.
Which one would you join?
Miyagi Dojo.
I would probably go with the fun one. Johnny's Eagle Fang.
You would? I think I'd go Cobra Kai.
Have you seen Cobra Kai on ice?
Wait, did you have that as an option?
Yeah, there are three of them that are competing against the All Valley. I'm just wondering which dojo would you join?
Yeah, I don't like the dude that runs Cobra Kai. I would go.
Well, they got two of them now.
Yeah.
Remember the
Chad Moore says Ozark. Anyone?
Big fan of Ozark coming back this month.
I used to think I'd be with Mr. Miyagi's guy, but now I think I'd go.
I want to go with Johnny.
Yeah. Oh, he's.
I'm
Eagle
going with
Fang.
Daniel-san.
Right, Eagle Fang.
Yeah, he's a mess.
I know.
That's a hot mess. The Jimmy's in. They're like, it's terrible.
It's great. All right, good stuff. Troy, we'll see you back here Thursday.
Sounds good. I'll bring my friend Tony Collins. Take Tony.
Yeah. Where would you like to take Tony?
Yeah.
Let us know.
He's available to go for free to your event if it's good enough.
As
and your
long as
seats
you
are good
pay
enough,
for everything.
You have to pay.
And you have to feed him and get him beverages.
Look at him as your young child that you have to take care of. And in return, you get a fun night with Tony Collins.
That's true. He is a fun guy.
A lot of laughs.
He does laugh a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Shirley, Chandler, CJ will see y'all Tuesday, 3 o'clock for an all-new edition of Pirate Radio Live. So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Pirate Radio Live, an exclusive